Today I will share with you some life-changing philosophy. Before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Also, comment where are you watching from and at what time you are watching. Have a nice sleep. Overthinking is a silent thief that steals your peace and creates chaos in your mind. It's easy to get caught in the storm of your thoughts, ruminating over the past, worrying about the future, or endlessly analyzing the present. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and are seeking a way to find inner peace, this video is for you. Today we're diving deep into the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to tame the chaos within and embrace a life of tranquility and focus. You might think that these lessons from over 2,000 years ago wouldn't apply today, but I'm here to show you how these timeless principles are more relevant than ever in our modern, hectic lives. Now, if you appreciate the insights and stories we're going to explore together, do me a simple, free favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us bring more of these life-changing ideas to you and others who might benefit from a little less chaos and a lot more peace. And remember, don't skip any part of the video. Each point we're going to discuss has the potential to significantly shift your perspective and perhaps your life. Let's unlock the secrets of the Stoics together, and I promise you'll walk away from this video not just informed, but transformed. When it feels like your mind is a time machine, zipping back to past regrets, or zooming forward to future worries, it's time to hit the brakes and park yourself firmly in the present. This might sound a bit abstract, so let's break it down. Picture this. You're at a great concert, but instead of enjoying the music, your mind wanders to a mistake you made earlier in the week or what you need to do tomorrow. Sounds familiar, right? This is where Stoicism steps in, reminding us that the only true possession we have is now, the present moment. Stoic philosophy isn't about suppressing your past or ignoring your future. It's about embracing the present with full awareness. Think of the present as your point of power. It's the stage where you can act, decide, and live. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present task, treating it as if it were your last. He wasn't being morbid. He was highlighting the intensity and focus that comes from living in the moment. So how do you practice this? Start by tuning into your immediate environment. Notice the colors around you, listen to the sounds, take in the smells. This sensory check-in is a practical way to anchor yourself. When your senses are engaged, there's less room for your mind to wander off. It's like telling your brain, hey, look here, this is where we're at, let's make the most of it. This simple act can cut through the noise of overthinking and bring a surprising calmness, clearing the way for more joy and less worry. Another way to live in the now is through what the Stoics call voluntary discomfort. It's about small, intentional practices like taking a cold shower, skipping a meal. These actions aren't just for building resilience. They're about pulling you back into the present. They sharpen your ability to control your response to the here and now, rather than letting your mind drag you back and forth through time. Mindfulness, a concept that resonates with Stoic traditions, is also key. It's about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Imagine sitting by a stream, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought or a feeling. Your job isn't to grab at the leaves, but to watch them drift past. This detachment allows you to recognize that thoughts are just thoughts. They don't control you. You control how you engage with them. Living in the present also means letting go of the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt your inner dialogue. This doesn't mean you don't plan for the future or learn from the past, but you do so in a way that serves you right now. It's about making the past and future relevant to the present, using them as tools, not chains. Ever noticed how a cluttered room can make you feel overwhelmed, like you can't think straight until you've tidied up? Well, our minds work in much the same way. When our mental space is cluttered with a jumble of thoughts, it can be tough to find peace or clarity. Just imagine your mind like a sky filled with clouds. Some days it's stormy and overcast, other days it's clear and sunny. The key to finding that sunny clarity is understanding that thoughts, much like clouds, are transient. They come and go. but they don't have to define your sky. Stoicism teaches us not to get attached to our passing thoughts. It encourages us to view these thoughts as external events, much like the weather. You wouldn't try to stop a cloud from moving across the sky, right? Similarly, trying to block or control every thought isn't just exhausting, it's futile. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often spoke about observing thoughts without getting swept away by them. They saw the value in stepping back and realizing this is just a thought, and thoughts aren't facts. But how do you actually do that? It starts with awareness. Begin by simply noticing your thoughts. Picture yourself sitting by a stream, and each thought is a leaf floating by. Some leaves might catch your attention more than others, but instead of grabbing them and examining every detail, you just let them float by. This exercise isn't about emptying your mind, but rather about not letting yourself get carried away by every leaf that drifts past. Reflection, a tool for mental clarity. Another effective way to manage your mental clutter is through reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the thoughts that dominated your mind. Were they necessary? Were they helpful? Did they improve your day, or did they make it more stressful? This kind of reflection can help you identify patterns in your thinking and learn which thoughts to let pass by more easily next time. The power of premeditatio malorum. Stoicism also introduces the concept of premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This technique involves visualizing the worst-case scenario in detail. It might sound counterintuitive, but by contemplating the worst, you often realize that even if it were to happen, you could handle it. This realization can take the power away from anxiety-inducing thoughts, allowing them to pass through your mind like harmless clouds, not ominous storm fronts. Freeing your mental space, integrating these Stoic practices into your daily life can transform the way you relate to your thoughts. You start to see that thoughts are not commands. They are merely suggestions, possibilities, and sometimes just noise. By not clinging to every thought, by not letting them dictate how you feel, you free up so much mental space. It's like cleaning up that cluttered room, and suddenly, you breathe easier, think clearer, and feel lighter. The illusion of control. Imagine you're driving on a highway and suddenly you find yourself in thick fog. Your first instinct might be to grip the steering wheel tighter and try to control the vehicle with even more precision. It's a natural response, but sometimes what we really need to do is slow down, turn on the fog lights, and trust that we'll make it through the haze safely. This is a lot like how we handle the uncertainties of life. We often cling to the illusion of control, thinking that if we just hold on tighter, we can manage everything perfectly. But just like driving in fog, sometimes the best approach is to ease up, not tighten our grip. The Stoic art of letting go. Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided many through the complexities of life, teaches us this art of letting go gracefully. The Stoics believed that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. This idea is liberating because it shifts our focus from trying to control the uncontrollable to mastering what's within our reach, our actions, our responses, our attitude. Take, for example, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who famously said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." He encouraged his students to discern between these two realms and to invest their energy wisely. This distinction is crucial in everyday life. What's within your control? When you find yourself overthinking or stressing over something, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, then it's a signal that you might need to let go of the wheel a bit. Letting go doesn't mean giving up responsibility. It means understanding the limits of your control and focusing on what you can actually influence. It's about doing your best with what's in your hands and then stepping back when there's nothing more to be done. This can apply to anything from work projects and personal relationships to managing health or financial plans. Practical Stoic habits. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is through reflection and acceptance. At the end of each day, reflect on the moments when you felt the urge to control outcomes. What triggered these feelings? How did you respond? By regularly examining your reactions, you begin to see patterns and learn new ways to let go and trust the process more. Amor fati, loving your fate. Another Stoic practice that can help is the concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This doesn't just mean accepting whatever happens. It's about embracing it as if you had chosen it yourself. It's a powerful way to let go of resistance and make peace with the way things are. Imagine facing a difficult situation, and instead of resenting it, you say, "This is exactly what I need." This shift in perspective can transform challenges into opportunities for growth and personal development. Embracing the idea that control isn't everything might feel daunting at first. It can seem like you're leaving too much up to chance. However, the more you practice letting go, the more you realize that it leads to a deeper sense of peace and confidence. You start to trust that, like driving through fog with your fog lights on, you'll navigate through life's uncertainties more effectively, not by grasping tighter, but by steering with a steadier, more trusting hand. Have you ever noticed how, when things start to spin out of control, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid? It's like your body's natural alarm system alerting you that something's off, and just by changing how you breathe, you can actually calm that chaos inside. This is more than just a cool trick. It's a fundamental practice that can bring you back from the edges of stress and overthinking to a state of calm and clarity. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to approach life's challenges with a composed and rational mind. One of the most immediate things we can control is our breath. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about mastering one's reactions to external events. He knew that the first step to gaining control over your reactions is to stabilize your physical state, starting with your breath. So, let's break down how this works. When you start to feel overwhelmed, pause, close your eyes if you can, and focus on taking a deep, slow breath. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Hold that breath for a count of 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for another count of 4. This method is known as the 4-4-4 breathing technique, or box breathing. It's used by everyone, from athletes to Navy SEALs, to combat stress in high-pressure situations. What it does is help regulate the nervous system, slow the heart rate, and give you a moment of pause, allowing your mind to regroup and refocus. The act of observing your breath also plays a crucial role in this practice. By paying attention to the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of air passing through your nostrils, you anchor yourself in the present moment. This is key in Stoicism. The focus on being fully present and engaged in the now. It's about observing without judgment. When you notice thoughts creeping in, instead of engaging with them or trying to push them away, simply acknowledge their presence and gently bring your focus back to your breathing. This isn't about clearing your mind of thoughts. It's about not letting those thoughts steer your emotions and reactions. Integrating breathing exercises into your daily routine can dramatically change how you interact with the world around you. It's like installing a mental reset button. Whenever you find yourself starting to overthink, or when you're faced with a stressful situation, hitting that button can give you the clarity and calm needed to handle anything more effectively. Moreover, regular practice of mindful breathing can cultivate a habit of mindfulness. Over time, you'll find that this not only helps in moments of acute stress, but also contributes to a more sustained, overall sense of peace and stability. It trains your mind to live less in hypothetical worries and more in the real, tangible moments that make up your life. This Stoic practice of anchoring your mind through breath is empowering because it's always available to you, no matter where you are or what situation you're in. Your breath is a tool that you carry within yourself. By learning to focus on and control your breathing, you're not just learning to calm your mind, you're learning to align yourself with Stoic principles of self-mastery and resilience. Sometimes, when you look around your living space or scroll through your digital world, you might feel a bit overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff. From cluttered desktops to overflowing closets, it's easy to see how the physical can reflect and even affect the mental. In a world where more always seems better, it might seem counterintuitive to think that having less could actually make you happier and more at peace. But there's a powerful freedom in stripping back to the essentials, and this is where the Stoic practice of minimalism can really shine. Stoicism teaches us the value of focusing on what's truly important and letting go of the rest. This philosophy isn't just about enduring hardship or suppressing desires. It's about creating space for what genuinely enriches your life. Epictetus urged his followers to keep their lives simple and to avoid getting caught up in the pursuit of wealth or possessions. He believed that peace comes from within and that external circumstances have only as much power as we grant them. Decluttering your physical space, embracing a minimalist lifestyle, can start with your physical environment. Take a good look around your home. Each item you own requires a piece of your attention, whether for cleaning, maintenance, or just choosing what to wear or use. By reducing the number of possessions, you reduce these demands on your attention, which can lead to a quieter, more focused mind. This doesn't mean living with nothing. Rather, it means keeping things that serve a purpose or bring you joy and parting with the rest. Simplifying beyond the physical. But simplifying isn't just about decluttering your physical space. It's also about streamlining your commitments and your digital life. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by endless notifications, social media feeds, and the pressure to stay constantly informed. By setting boundaries around your digital consumption, like specific times when you check emails or social media, you give yourself permission to disconnect and focus on the present. This kind of digital minimalism can help you regain control over where and how you spend your mental energy. The connection between minimalism and Stoicism. The Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is deeply connected to minimalism. By simplifying your life, you're stripping away the non-essentials that you can't control and focusing more deeply on what you can, your actions, your work, your relationships. This shift in focus can dramatically decrease feelings of stress and overthinking because you're no longer spreading yourself too thin across too many concerns. Furthermore, minimalism fosters a sense of gratitude. When you live with less, you tend to appreciate more. This is a key Stoic practice, focusing on being thankful for what you have, rather than resenting what you don't. Each item, each activity, and each interaction has more value and meaning when it's chosen with intention rather than by default. Starting the journey toward a minimalist lifestyle can be as simple as choosing one area of your life to simplify. Maybe it's your wardrobe, committing to a capsule collection of garments that you love. Or perhaps it's your schedule, deciding to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or bring you satisfaction. Each small step not only adds to your immediate peace, but also builds your confidence in your ability to live according to Stoic principles. Isn't it fascinating how the only thing we can truly count on in life is change, yet so often it's the thing we resist the most? We build our routines, our habits, and our expectations around predictability, and when things inevitably shift, it can throw us off balance. But what if we could not only expect change, but welcome it with open arms? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism can make a profound impact on our lives. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, teaches us to embrace the impermanence of life. The Stoics believed that by accepting that everything is in flux, we can rise above the tumult of our ever-changing world and find true peace of mind. Seneca, one of the most celebrated Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about the inevitability of change and the importance of being as flexible in mind as nature is in its expressions. To start integrating this mindset, consider the nature around you. The way the seasons change seamlessly from spring blooms to summer heat, to the falling leaves of autumn, and finally, to the quiet cold of winter. Each season has its purpose and its beauty. Just as we accept and adapt to these seasonal shifts, we can learn to do the same with changes in our lives. Whether it's a sudden job change, a move to a new city, or shifts within personal relationships, viewing these changes as natural and necessary can significantly reduce our anxiety and overthinking about the unknown. But how do we put this into practice? It starts with letting go of our attachment to outcomes. While it's natural to want certain results from our efforts, attaching our happiness to these outcomes can set us up for disappointment. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our actions and intentions, leaving the results to unfold as they will. This doesn't mean we don't strive or plan. Rather, it means we detach our well-being from the results of our action. Moreover, embracing change involves recognizing the opportunities that come with new circumstances. Every change brings with it the chance to learn something new, to grow, and to expand our horizons. When we open ourselves up to the possibilities that change can bring, we shift from feeling victimized by circumstances to becoming active participants in our own lives. This proactive stance is empowering. It transforms our experience from one of passivity to one of engagement and adventure. Another Stoic strategy to help cope with change is the practice of reflection and preparation. The Stoics recommended regularly contemplating potential changes and challenges that could arise. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, helps prepare the mind to face possible future scenarios without fear. By mentally rehearsing how you might handle difficult situations, you build emotional resilience and flexibility, making you better equipped to deal with change when it occurs. In embracing change, it's also crucial to maintain a support network of friends and family who can provide different perspectives and emotional support during times of transition. Stoicism doesn't advocate going through life's ups and downs alone. Rather, it encourages building and relying on a community. This support not only helps buffer the stresses that come with change, but also enriches the journey, making the process of adapting not just bearable, but enjoyable. Some of the most difficult battles we face are the ones inside our own minds. The battles against doubt, fear, frustration, and sometimes even despair. Life throws challenges at us, often without warning, and how we respond to these challenges can define everything. Now, picture this. What if you had a mindset so unshakable, so resilient, that no obstacle could truly stand in your way? That's the kind of strength the Stoics dedicated their lives to developing. A mindset that can overcome anything because it's grounded in the unbreakable principles of wisdom, courage, and self-control. Today, we're diving into the wisdom of the Stoics, not as some ancient philosophy locked in the past, but as a practical toolkit that's just as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. These are the lessons that have empowered people for centuries, from emperors to soldiers, and continue to guide millions. If you've ever felt like life is pulling you down, or if you're simply looking to build mental armor that can withstand any storm, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll have a blueprint for transforming your mindset, a way to build a mental fortress so that no matter what comes your way, you stand firm. So, if you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support the channel, a simple free favor you can do is hit that subscribe button and make sure not to skip any part of the video to fully grasp the transformative insights we're about to explore together. Let's get started. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to test your virtues, whether it's patience when you're stuck in traffic, resilience when you're dealing with loss, or courage when you're facing fears. The Stoics believed that it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones on the path to self-mastery. Now let's get practical. How can we truly embrace challenges? It starts with perception. Instead of viewing difficulties as impediments, see them as instruments for personal development. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can this teach me? This shift in perspective isn't just about finding silver linings, but about forging a robust character that thrives under pressure. Moreover, embracing challenges means staying present and engaged, not detached or indifferent. It involves an active engagement with whatever life throws your way, handling it with a calm mind and a focus on what can be controlled. Remember, The goal of Stoicism is not to diminish your emotions, but to channel them in a way that serves you and your community better. This Stoic approach doesn't promise an easy life. Instead, it offers a meaningful one. By consistently applying these principles, you'll find that you're not only capable of withstanding adversity, but also capable of flourishing because of it. Every challenge becomes a chance to demonstrate virtue and build resilience. So next time you find yourself in a tough situation, remember, it's not just a hurdle, it's an invitation to grow stronger and wiser. This principle teaches us that true wealth comes not from external possessions, but from the richness of our ideas and the strength of our character. Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus from acquiring material wealth, which is transient and often beyond our control, to developing robust, transformative ideas that can endure and truly impact the world. Think about it. The most influential people throughout history were not necessarily those with the most financial wealth, but those who offered groundbreaking ideas that reshaped society. From the philosophical insights of Marcus Aurelius to the innovative visions of modern thinkers and leaders, the real currency they dealt with was ideas. So how can we harness this power in our own lives? It starts with nurturing a mindset that values creativity and critical thinking over mere consumption. Stoicism prompts us to ask ourselves, are we merely accumulating things that will fade, or are we developing insights that will last? This isn't to say that money and resources aren't important. They are tools that can be used wisely, but they shouldn't be the end goal. Our aim should be to create and contribute, to think deeply about problems, and to come up with solutions that do more than just serve ourselves. Moreover, embracing the Stoic value of ideas over wealth involves understanding that personal growth and societal contribution are far more rewarding than material success. This perspective not only enriches our own lives, but also makes us valuable to others by fostering a culture of thought leadership and innovation. We can inspire those around us to also look beyond the superficial trappings of wealth and consider the lasting impact of their thoughts and actions. In a world increasingly driven by materialism, the Stoic focus on ideas over wealth is a refreshing call to refocus on what truly matters. It challenges us to be thinkers, innovators, and philosophers in our own right, to build legacies of wisdom rather than just wealth. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions and actions, shaping our own destinies through deliberate choices and purposeful living. This is not about forging a path in defiance of the world, but rather crafting a life that aligns with our deepest values and virtues. So, how do we start creating our own path? It begins with self-awareness. Stoicism encourages us to examine our lives critically and to question societal norms that might not resonate with our inner truth. Are we following a career or lifestyle because it's what's expected of us, or because it genuinely fulfills us? By reflecting on these questions, we can begin to carve out a life path that truly reflects who we are and what we believe in. Once we have a clearer sense of direction, the next step is to take action. Creating your own path requires courage. The courage to make unconventional choices, to step away from the beaten track, and to withstand the uncertainty and criticism that might come with such decisions. Stoicism equips us with the mental fortitude to handle these challenges by reminding us that our worth is defined by our actions and character, not by external approval or success. Additionally, creating your own path means embracing the concept of lifelong learning and adaptation. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius were proponents of ongoing self-improvement and adaptability. They believed that a wise person is always prepared to adjust their course and learn from their experiences. This adaptable approach is crucial in a world that is constantly changing. It encourages us to remain open and responsive to new information and experiences, ensuring that our path remains relevant and aligned with our growth. Lastly, creating your own path isn't just about personal ambition. It's about contributing to society in a meaningful way. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond our individual desires and consider how our actions affect others. By choosing a path that contributes positively to those around us, we fulfill the Stoic ideal of living harmoniously within our community and the broader world. This interconnected perspective ensures that our path is not only self-fulfilling, but also socially responsible. Change is inevitable. Change is also the principle of life. That means that everything that is alive will change, and even things that are not alive will change. Stoics understand that change is the only constant in life, and they teach us to embrace it, not just passively, but actively. They encourage us to mold and be molded by the changes that come our way, ensuring our growth and refinement through every experience. The Stoic approach to change is rooted in the dichotomy of control, a fundamental concept introduced by Epictetus. It reminds us to differentiate between what we can control, our actions, responses, and judgments, and what we cannot, such as the actions of others, the past, and much of the external world. By focusing our energy on our own sphere of influence, we become more effective and serene. This perspective equips us with a mental framework for adapting to change by reducing anxiety over the uncontrollable and empowering us to act where we can. Moreover, adapting to change means maintaining an internal steadiness despite external fluctuations. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, advised us to be like a rocky promontory against which the waves constantly break. It stands firm while the turmoil of the sea falls still around it. This image is a powerful metaphor for Stoic resilience, the ability to maintain composure and clarity of judgment no matter how stormy life gets. This stability doesn't come from rigidity but from a deep understanding of and engagement with the natural flow of life. Practically, adapting to change involves continual self-assessment and adjustment. Stoicism promotes an ongoing dialogue with oneself, a kind of internal audit on how we are responding to daily changes and challenges. Are we reacting emotionally, or are we responding thoughtfully? Are our actions consistent with our values? This reflective practice not only helps in managing immediate changes, but also in anticipating and preparing for future ones. Adapting to change in a Stoic sense means viewing each new circumstance as an opportunity for development. Every change, whether perceived as positive or negative, brings lessons and chances to refine our virtues, such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. For instance, a sudden hardship might provide an opportunity to practice fortitude and compassion, while an unexpected success might test and strengthen our humility and generosity. This isn't about making rigid plans that resist change, but rather about setting a course guided by our deepest values and virtues, ensuring that each step we take is intentional and meaningful. The Stoics often spoke about the importance of living with a purpose that transcends daily fluctuations and distraction. They argued that without a clear long-term vision, we are at the mercy of external events and impulses, tossed about like a ship without a rudder. A well-defined vision acts as this rudder, helping us navigate life's complex waters with direction and foresight. In practical terms, developing a long-term vision involves reflecting on what truly matters to us, what we value most in life, what kind of person we wish to become, and how we can contribute to the world around us. This vision should be resilient, capable of adapting to changes without losing sight of the overarching goals. For example, you might envision yourself as a lifelong learner, committed to personal growth and the betterment of society. How this manifests might change with circumstances, perhaps through career shifts, evolving relationships, or changing social contexts, but the core vision remains constant. Moreover, a Stoic approach to long-term vision involves preparing mentally for both success and setbacks. It teaches us to anticipate obstacles and view them as natural parts of the journey. This preparation is not pessimistic, but rather a form of realistic optimism. By considering potential challenges and visualizing how to handle them, we strengthen our resolve and flexibility, making us better equipped to persist toward our vision, no matter what life throws our way. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of aligning our vision with actions that are under our control. It's not enough to simply dream or plan. We must also take concrete, consistent steps toward realizing our vision. This means setting manageable goals, reflecting on our daily habits, and continuously adjusting our strategies to stay aligned with our long-term aspirations. Each small action should be seen as a building block toward a larger purpose, imbued with meaning and direction. Developing a long-term vision, in a Stoic sense, means embracing the journey as much as the destination. The true value of this vision lies not just in achieving specific goals, but in the growth and insights we gain along the way. Stoicism teaches us to value each moment and challenge as part of our overall development, reminding us that the path to fulfilling our vision is just as important as the end result. This introspective practice isn't just about self-improvement in a conventional sense. It's about cultivating a deep understanding of our thoughts, behaviors, and the motives behind them, aiming to align our actions with the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Stoicism teaches us to turn inward and examine our responses to the world. This self-examination is a critical tool for personal growth, as it allows us to identify areas where our perceptions or actions may not align with our ethical standards or desired outcomes. It involves asking ourselves challenging questions. Why did I react that way? What can this emotion teach me? How can I respond better in the future? This level of inquiry helps us not only understand ourselves better, but also facilitates greater control over our reactions and emotions. Furthermore, the Stoic practice of self-reflection includes a technique known as the evening review, where the day's events are replayed in the mind, not to dwell on them, but to evaluate and learn from them. This practice encourages a kind of daily mental cleanup, ensuring that we remain vigilant and conscious of our progress toward our personal goals. It helps cement the day's lessons and prepares us to face tomorrow with a clearer, more focused mind. In terms of personal growth, Stoicism promotes the idea that we should strive to be better than we were yesterday, rather than better than someone else. This philosophy teaches that comparison with others is a distraction and often a source of dissatisfaction. Instead, by focusing on our own path and progress, this inward focus fosters not only self-improvement but also self-acceptance, acknowledging that while perfection is unattainable, continuous improvement is both achievable and deeply fulfilling. Additionally, Stoicism doesn't shy away from the discomfort that often accompanies growth. It acknowledges that real growth can be challenging and uncomfortable, as it requires us to confront truths about ourselves that we may prefer to ignore. However, it also reassures us that this discomfort is a natural part of developing virtue and character. Each challenge and every discomfort is an opportunity to practice Stoic virtues, strengthen our resolve, and enhance our capacity for compassion and understanding. Personal growth and self-reflection in a Stoic context mean living consciously, deliberately, and ethically. They involve a continuous dialogue between our inner selves and the external world, allowing us to navigate life not as passive recipients of our circumstances but as active, ethical participants, shaping our lives with intention and integrity. Every hardship presents an opportunity to practice virtues like patience, endurance, and resilience. For instance, when we face a personal setback, we are given a chance to practice perseverance. When we encounter injustice, we have an opportunity to cultivate fortitude and advocate for fairness. The Stoics saw these moments as exercises, much like a runner uses hills to build strength. It's not about seeking out adversity, but when it inevitably appears, it's about responding in a way that aligns with our principles and enhances our character. Furthermore, Stoicism doesn't advocate for a passive acceptance of all adversity. Instead, it promotes an active engagement with life's challenges. This involves asking ourselves how we can use an adverse situation to our advantage or to the benefit of others. Can a tough situation teach us something valuable about ourselves? Can we find a way to turn a personal struggle into a source of inspiration for others? By actively seeking the value in adversity, we transform our struggles into lessons and our trials into triumphs. Self-reflection plays a critical role in this process. Stoics regularly engage in practices such as meditation and journaling to reflect on their experiences, including their encounters with adversity. This isn't about ruminating over what went wrong, but about extracting actionable insights that can lead to personal improvement and better outcomes in the future. This reflective process helps internalize the lessons learned from adversity, ensuring that each challenge faced contributes to a deeper understanding and a more resilient self. Moreover, utilizing adversity involves embracing a certain level of detachment from external conditions. Stoics strive to maintain inner tranquility regardless of external circumstances by focusing on what they can control, their responses and their attitudes. This detachment doesn't mean not caring about outcomes. Rather, it's about not being emotionally overwhelmed by them. It allows us to face life's ups and downs with equanimity and act according to our values, regardless of the situation. Utilizing adversity in a Stoic sense means transforming every challenge into a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and a more virtuous life. It encourages us to not only survive our struggles, but to use them as fuel for our philosophical journey, enhancing our ability to live a fulfilling and impactful life. In doing so, we not only better ourselves, but also potentially provide a beacon of hope and strength for others facing their own adversities. Leadership and influence are not about wielding power over others, but about leading by example and inspiring those around you with your virtue and integrity. Stoicism teaches that true leaders are those who govern their own lives with wisdom and justice, and whose actions encourage others to do the same. This approach to leadership emphasizes personal character and ethical behavior as the foundation of genuine influence. In Stoic thought, leadership starts with self-mastery. Before one can effectively lead others, one must be in command of oneself. This means practicing self-discipline, managing one's emotions, and making decisions that reflect a commitment to the common good rather than personal gain. It involves cultivating virtues like courage, temperance, prudence, and justice. A Stoic leader models these virtues, demonstrating through their own behavior how to live a good life. Their influence, therefore, is not enforced through authority, but naturally radiates out, compelling others by the example they set. Moreover, Stoicism holds that effective leadership is about contributing to the well-being of others and the community as a whole. It's about service rather than status. This perspective encourages leaders to focus on how they can help others grow and succeed, fostering an environment where the team or community can thrive. By prioritizing the needs and welfare of others, Stoic leaders build trust and loyalty, which are essential for any influential. Communication also plays a critical role in Stoic leadership. A Stoic leader communicates clearly, honestly, and with the intent to enlighten and improve the situations they are involved in. They listen attentively, seek to understand different perspectives, and respond thoughtfully. This open and respectful communication style not only helps in resolving conflicts and finding common ground, but also strengthens the leader's influence by establishing them as fair and reliable. Another important aspect of leadership in Stoicism is adaptability, the ability to remain steady in the face of change and uncertainty. Stoic leaders recognize that they cannot control all external events, but they can always control their responses. This resilience enables them to guide others through crises and challenges with calmness and clarity, providing a stable anchor for their team or community. Stoic leadership involves lifelong learning and reflection. Stoic leaders are committed to their own personal growth and are continually seeking knowledge and wisdom that can enhance their leadership skills and ethical understanding. They are reflective about their actions and open to feedback, always looking for ways to improve and better serve their community. This is an essential part of Stoic practice, allowing you to pause, assess, and recalibrate your path according to the principles and values you hold dear. It's about looking back, not just to reminisce or regret, but to understand and learn. This introspective process is crucial because it helps you appreciate the distance you've traveled, acknowledge the lessons learned, and use that knowledge to shape a more purposeful future. Stoicism teaches us to view life as a series of opportunities for growth. Every experience, whether deemed successful or fraught with challenges, carries with it valuable lessons. By reflecting on these experiences, we engage in a thoughtful analysis of our actions and decisions, discerning whether they align with the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This isn't about judging ourselves harshly, but about approaching our past with a compassionate and constructive mindset that is keen on continuous improvement. In this reflection, consider the times when you faced adversity. How did you respond? Did you react with frustration and anger, or did you find a way to remain composed and make reasoned decisions? Each instance provides insight into your character and resilience, offering clues on areas where you might strengthen your Stoic practice. Similarly, reflect on your moments of joy and success. These too can teach you about who you are and what matters most to you, reinforcing your commitment to those values. Furthermore, reflecting on your journey involves acknowledging the transient nature of life, a key Stoic concept. Everything, our successes, failures, joys, and sorrows, is temporary and must be appreciated in the moment, yet held loosely as we move forward. This awareness fosters a deep sense of gratitude for the present and a readiness to face the future, no matter what it may bring, with open arms and a willing heart. Finally, sharing your reflections can be incredibly powerful, not just for your own growth, but also as a way to influence and inspire others. By discussing your journey, you contribute to a broader dialogue about how to live a good life, encouraging others to reflect on their own paths and perhaps discover the Stoic way for themselves. Every day, we carry invisible weights, habits that drag us down, cloud our minds, and distract us from the truly important things in life. It's time to let go of these burdens and embrace the clarity and focus that comes with a Stoic way of thinking. Let me take a moment to remind you that this journey we're on together is all about transformation. It's about growing, becoming the best version of ourselves, and breaking free from the habits, mindsets, and barriers that have been holding us back. And today, we're tackling a big one, a life-altering topic that can change the course of your future. We're going to explore 4 things you have to stop doing immediately. These aren't just simple mistakes, fleeting bad habits, or temporary setbacks. These are the subtle yet powerful forces that prevent you from reaching your full potential. They block your progress and prevent you from living the life you're capable of living. These habits, if you stop them today, will free you from your past and accelerate you toward your future. I know that each one of us has dreams, goals, and ambitions. Some of those dreams may feel so far out of reach, but I'm here to tell you, they're not. They're waiting for you to step into them. Today, we're going to uncover the 4 things that are keeping you from stepping fully into your power. As we dive into these transformative insights, remember, if you find value in peeling back these layers and discovering new paths to your personal best, hitting that subscribe button helps us bring more of this content to you. It's free, and it ensures you don't miss out on any part of this journey to empowerment. And don't skip any part of the video. Every second is designed to help you grow stronger, more focused, and resilient, just like the Stoics of old. Are you ready to make some significant changes? Let's get started and shed these 4 critical habits for a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. You might not realize it, but every time you let a shadow of doubt creep into your thoughts, you're stepping back from the life you're meant to lead. Doubt is sneaky. It's like that quiet voice at a party that keeps whispering, "You're not quite right. You don't really belong. You're just not good enough." But here's a Stoic truth for you. Doubt is only as powerful as the attention you give it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we can't. Your thoughts? They're yours to shape. Think about the times when doubt has held you back from taking a chance. Maybe it stopped you from applying for that job, asking that question, or starting a new project. Now, imagine what could have unfolded if you had pushed past that doubt. It's all about perception. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus weren't free from doubt because they were supremely confident. No. They learned to challenge the validity of their doubts and focus on their strengths. Let's break it down. Self-doubt often comes from our fear of failure, of not meeting expectations, ours or someone else's. But what if you viewed potential failure not as a setback, but as a step forward? After all, every attempt, successful or not, teaches us something vital. It's about learning to trust the process, embracing each experience as a part of your growth. Think of doubt as a signal, not a stop sign. It's telling you where you need to focus, where there's room to expand and improve. Now, consider the idea that you are the writer of your own life's script. Each time doubt starts scripting stories of fear and failure, grab that pen and rewrite it with stories of strength and resilience. Remember, no great story is complete without challenges, without moments where the hero could have turned back. Yet, it's not the doubts they faced that define their stories, but their decision to keep going despite them. Another Stoic practice to help manage doubt involves preparation and reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your actions and thoughts. Where did doubt creep in? How did you handle it? Could you have managed it differently? This reflection isn't about judging yourself harshly, but about preparing better for future encounters with doubt. The Stoics were big on journaling, using it as a tool to reflect and gain clarity. This doesn't have to be a lengthy process. A few minutes each day can provide profound insights. And while we're discussing insights, let's not overlook the power of visualization, a technique used by Stoics and modern achievers alike. When doubt tells you that you can't, take a moment to visualize yourself succeeding. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the success waiting on the other side. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a rehearsal for reality, a way to condition your mind to act beyond doubt. Finally, remember that overcoming doubt is not about never feeling it. That's nearly impossible. It's about not letting it control you. It's about acknowledging its presence, nodding politely, and then moving forward with your actions aligned with your values and goals. Every time you choose action over doubt, you're not just moving closer to your goals, you're also strengthening your Stoic resolve, building a mindset geared toward growth and resilience. So, next time you hear that whisper of doubt, recognize it for what it is, an old habit, not a truth. Challenge it with your new habit of resilience, armed with Stoic wisdom, and watch as you transform not only your actions, but your outcomes. Doubt has only the power to stop you if you let it. Instead, let it be the reason you move forward with more determination, equipped with the wisdom of the Stoics to guide your path. It's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of looking at others and feeling like you're not measuring up. Scroll through any social media platform for a few minutes, and you might find yourself feeling as though everyone else's life is more exciting, more successful, or simply happier than yours. But here's something crucial to remember. What you're seeing is a curated display, not the full story. This comparison game is not just misleading, it's harmful. It skews our perception of our own lives and can make us feel inadequate without just cause. Stoicism teaches us a valuable lesson here. Focus on what affects your own progress and virtues, not the apparent successes of others. Imagine if Marcus Aurelius, Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, had wasted his time comparing his reign or philosophical writings to those of his predecessors or neighboring rulers. Instead, he focused on his own duties and the wisdom he could cultivate from his experiences. By centering on our own journey, we embrace the Stoic principle of controlling only what is within our power, our actions, reactions, and personal growth. When you catch yourself comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel, try to redirect that energy. Think about your own achievements and the obstacles you've overcome. Each person's life is a complex tapestry of experiences, challenges, and triumphs. By comparing, we reduce this rich complexity to a simple, often inaccurate scoreboard. More importantly, we risk overshadowing our own experiences and undervaluing our unique paths. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to use comparison, if at all, only as a tool for self-improvement, not as a measure of self-worth. For instance, instead of feeling envious of a friend's new job, use that moment to reflect on your own career goals and the steps you can take to achieve them. This turns a potentially negative comparison into a constructive plan for personal progress. It's about transforming envy into inspiration. Reflect on this. The only true comparison that brings value is the one you make with yourself, where you were yesterday versus where you are today. Are you kinder, more knowledgeable, or more disciplined? This self-reflection is fundamental in Stoicism. It keeps you grounded in your own progress and focused on what truly matters. your own development and contentment. Another practical step to lessen the habit of comparing yourself to others is to limit your exposure to the sources of comparison. If social media makes you feel inadequate, adjust how you use it. Follow accounts that inspire and teach rather than those that spark envy. Use these platforms to connect and learn rather than to assess your self-worth. Remember also the Stoic practice of negative visualization. It's about imagining the worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have. This doesn't mean dwelling on the negative, but rather using it to cultivate gratitude for your present situation. It's a powerful antidote to the dissatisfaction bred by comparison. When you feel thankful for what you have, the achievements of others seem less like a threat and more like shared human potential. Breaking the habit of comparing yourself to others isn't about ignoring the success of those around you. It's about reshaping how you perceive and react to that information. It's about fostering a mindset that values personal growth and inner peace over external validation. This way, you not only adhere to Stoic wisdom, but also create a more fulfilling and contented life for yourself. Remember, in the grand narrative of your life, the only character you're truly responsible for is you. How you develop that character, how you enrich your own story, that's where your focus should be. Carrying the past around is like dragging a suitcase filled with old books you'll never read again. It's heavy, it's exhausting, and it doesn't serve you one bit. We've all got that suitcase. Inside, you'll find our mistakes, our regrets, and those moments when things just didn't go the way we hoped. Now, imagine setting that suitcase down for good. Feels freeing, right? That's what we're talking about today. Letting go of those past burdens to make room for a brighter, lighter future. Stoicism offers a robust framework for dealing with the past. Stoics emphasize living in the present because that's all we truly have control over. The past? It's done. You can't change it, but you can change your perspective on it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look back over the past with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too." What he's suggesting isn't that we dwell on the past, but that we learn from it and then move on, applying those lessons to live better today. Reflecting on the past is only useful to the extent that it teaches us. Beyond that, dwelling on old failures or missed opportunities is a trap. It saps your energy, focusing your mind on scenarios that no longer exist, except in your thoughts. So how do we stop living in the past? Start by acknowledging it, recognize the things that happened, understand the emotions they stir up, and then practice letting them go. This could be as simple as saying to yourself, "Yes, that happened, it hurt, but I am no longer in that moment. I am here now." Another Stoic practice that can help is the discipline of assent, which involves consciously choosing which thoughts to accept and which to reject. When a thought about the past arises, assess it. Is this thought helpful? Does it improve my well-being? If not, you have the power to reject it. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. Rather, it means not allowing them to control you. It's about taking a moment to say, "This is how I felt, but I choose not to hold on to it." Furthermore, transform how you interact with memories. Instead of replaying a regretful scenario over and over, try to view it through a lens of growth. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Whether it's resilience, compassion, or a newfound understanding of your limits, there's always something valuable to be gained. This shift in perspective turns a previously negative memory into a stepping stone for personal development. Lastly, engage in mindfulness and meditation, both key components of Stoic practice. These techniques ground you in the present and help dissolve the emotional weight of the past. Mindfulness teaches you to experience life as it happens and to appreciate the now without the shadow of yesterday. It's about noticing the world around you, your reactions, your feelings, and accepting them without judgment. To truly embrace the present and prepare for the future, it's essential to let go of what's behind you. Remember, every moment spent ruminating over the past is a moment lost from your present. So cut that baggage loose. Practice these Stoic principles to center yourself in the now, and you'll find that life becomes a lot lighter. The past doesn't have to define you. You're defined by how you live now, how you react now, and how you prepare for what's next. So, set down that old, heavy suitcase. Your journey ahead requires nothing from it. Have you ever found yourself saying, "I'll start tomorrow," but when tomorrow comes, you say it again? That loop, my friend, is one of life's trickiest ruts to escape. Procrastination isn't just about laziness or poor time management. It's about emotions battling against our intentions. It's the fear of failure, the dread of stepping out of comfort zones, or maybe even the fear of success that holds us back. But here's a thought inspired by Stoicism. What if we didn't wait for the perfect moment to act? What if we started embracing action as the path to clarity? The Stoics taught that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about the events. With procrastination, it's often our judgments about the task at hand that hold us back, thinking it's too difficult, too time-consuming, or maybe not worth the effort at all. But what if we could shift that perspective? What if we viewed each action as a necessary step toward virtue, toward becoming our best selves? To tackle procrastination, begin by breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This is a classic Stoic approach to overcoming overwhelming feelings. Just as Marcus Aurelius advised, the task of a philosopher to piece together our natural constitution. Apply this to your goals. Want to write a book? Start by writing a page. Need to organize your home? Start with one drawer. The key is to make the first step so small that it isn't intimidating, almost trivial. Then there's the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, which involves visualizing the negative outcomes of not acting. Imagine the consequences if you continue to procrastinate. How might it affect your personal growth, your career, or even your relationships? This visualization isn't meant to scare you, but to inject a dose of reality into your planning process. It's about using foresight to fuel your motivation rather than your fears. Furthermore, Stoicism doesn't just ask you to contemplate the bad. It also encourages you to reflect on the benefits of taking action. Each small step you take is progress, and progress is invigorating and self-reinforcing. Once you start and see the benefits of your actions, it becomes easier to keep going. Remember, in the words of Seneca, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This approach transforms seemingly mundane tasks into vital parts of your daily life's philosophy. Moreover, consider the Stoic concept of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that remains impervious to externals and our emotional responses to them. When you feel overwhelmed by what you need to do, retreat into your inner citadel. From this place of strength, you can assess tasks with calmness and clarity, free from the paralyzing effects of overthinking and emotional turbulence. Finally, embrace the Stoic ethos of amor fati, love of fate. This doesn't mean being passive or resigning yourself to whatever happens. Rather, it's about loving what you do and doing what you love wholeheartedly. When you start to align your actions with your values, procrastination becomes less of an issue because you're no longer acting out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. So let's challenge ourselves to turn "I'll do it tomorrow" into "I'm doing it now." Because in each moment of action, you're not just ticking off a task, you're building a life. Each step, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. It's about making the most of the now, because now is all we truly have, and now is always the right time to begin. And there we have it. 4 monumental shifts that can truly transform the way you lead your life. It's all about stepping away from those old habits that no longer serve you and embracing new ways that propel you toward a more fulfilling, more purposeful existence. Whether it's silencing the whispers of self-doubt, stopping the endless comparisons to others, releasing the heavy chains of the past, or kicking procrastination to the curb, each step you take is a powerful act of self-liberation. I want you to think of today's discussion not just as a set of instructions, but as a conversation among friends striving for betterment. We're in this together, each of us working on becoming the best versions of ourselves, one day at a time. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call. Life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think. Can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So, when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience. from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-control allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-control is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-control helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person. We all experience those moments when negative thoughts start creeping in, planting seeds of doubt and insecurity in our minds. The nagging voice that questions our abilities, worth, and decisions can be incredibly disruptive, impacting all aspects of our lives. If left unchecked, these mental patterns can spiral into anxiety, lack of motivation, and even depression. I know this struggle all too well. There were times when I felt consumed by negative self-talk and crippling self-doubt. It was a constant battle to silence the inner critic and regain my confidence. But then, I discovered the profound teachings of Stoicism. This ancient Greek philosophy provided me with powerful strategies to overcome these challenges. As Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely stated, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This realization was transformative for me. I began to understand that my negative thoughts were not facts, but mere interpretations, and that I had the power to change them. So, what is the purpose of our journey today? It is to share the timeless Stoic principles that will help you deal effectively with negative thoughts and self-doubt. By the end of this exploration, you will be equipped with practical tools and insights to confront these inner battles head-on, reclaiming your inner peace and confidence. But this is not a passive experience. Stay engaged, reflect on these lessons, and actively apply them daily. True transformation occurs through knowledge, consistent action, and practice. With that, let us begin our exploration of the Stoic way of overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt, guided by the wise words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Understanding negative thoughts and self-doubt, we must first understand their nature and impact to effectively deal with negative thoughts and self-doubt. As Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wisely stated, it is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. Negative thoughts are not inherently bad or wrong. Our minds create interpretations based on our experiences, beliefs, and conditioning. However, when left unchecked, these thoughts can spiral, distorting our perception of reality and undermining our sense of self-worth. For instance, consider a situation where you made a mistake at work. A negative thought might arise, such as, "I'm so incompetent, I'll never succeed in this job." This thought, however, is not a fact, but a judgment colored by self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. The impact of such negative self-talk can be far-reaching. It can affect our motivation, decision-making, and overall well-being. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Persistent negative thoughts can drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and even influence our physical health. Now, let's engage in a brief exercise. Take a moment to reflect on a recent negative thought or moment of self-doubt that you experienced. Please write it down or make a mental note of it. We will revisit this later in our exploration. Understanding the nature and potential consequences of negative thoughts enables us to approach them more objectively. We can recognize them as mere interpretations, not absolute truths, and work towards reframing them more constructively. Remember, as Epictetus taught, it is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. With this awareness, we can break free from negative thoughts and self-doubt, paving the way for a more empowered and fulfilling life. Changing your perspective. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the idea that our thoughts shape our reality. Epictetus wisely stated, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This profound insight holds the key to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt. By changing our perspective, we can transform our experience. Let's revisit the example from the previous chapter, where you made a mistake at work and a negative thought arose, labeling you as incompetent and doubting your ability to succeed. This thought is not a fact, but a subjective interpretation colored by self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. The Stoics would encourage us to reframe this thought by adopting a more objective and rational perspective. Instead of criticizing ourselves, we could view the mistake as a learning opportunity to identify areas for improvement and growth. We could remind ourselves that mistakes are an inevitable part of the human experience, and that even the most accomplished individuals have faced setbacks and failures throughout their journeys. By reframing our perspective, we can transform a negative thought into a constructive one, shifting our mindset from self-doubt to self-compassion and resilience. But the Stoics didn't just preach theoretical ideas. They offered practical wisdom rooted in real-life examples. One such example comes from the life of Seneca, the famous Stoic philosopher and advisor to the Roman Emperor Nero. In one of his letters, Seneca recounts a story of a friend deeply troubled by a nightmarish vision he had experienced. Seneca advised his friend to focus on reality rather than being consumed by his imagination, saying, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Like Seneca's friend, we often allow our negative thoughts and fears to spiral out of control, creating imagined scenarios that cause unnecessary suffering. By grounding ourselves in reality and adopting a more objective perspective, we can break free from the grip of these distorted thoughts. Here's a practical step-by-step guide to help you reframe a negative thought. Identify the negative thought or self-doubt. Write it down or make a mental note. Examine the evidence. Is this thought based on facts or assumptions? Are there alternative perspectives you still need to consider? Challenge the thought. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Or, would I say this to a loved one in a similar situation? Reframe the thought. Replace the negative thought with a more constructive, rational interpretation that aligns with your values and goals. Repeat the reframed thought. Reinforce the new perspective by repeating it to yourself or writing it down. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. By actively practicing reframing our perspective, we can gradually rewire our thought patterns, cultivating a more resilient and empowered mindset. It takes consistent effort, but the rewards are immense. A greater sense of inner peace, self-confidence, and ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Focus on what you can control. One of the core tenets of Stoic philosophy is the principle of focusing our energy and attention on what we can control, rather than wasting time and energy agonizing over things beyond our influence. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is compelling when dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt. While we cannot always control the initial thoughts that arise, we can control how we respond to them. Do we allow them to spiral, fueling our self-doubt and anxiety, or do we consciously shift our focus to what is within our control? Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you've been passed over for a promotion at work, and feelings of self-doubt and negative thoughts begin to surface. I'm not good enough. I'll never advance in this company. I'm a failure. While it's understandable to feel disappointed, dwelling on these negative thoughts and ruminating over the situation will only breed more negativity and disempowerment. Instead, the Stoic approach would focus on what you can control, your reaction, your mindset, and your next steps. You might reframe the situation by acknowledging that while the outcome was not what you hoped for, it does not define your worth or capabilities. You can respond with resilience, using the experience as motivation to identify areas for growth and development. Additionally, you can focus on what is within your control, such as updating your skills, seeking feedback from mentors, or exploring new opportunities within or outside the company. This principle is exemplified in Epictetus' life. Born into slavery, he faced numerous challenges and adversities beyond his control. However, he focused his energy on what was within his power, his mindset, actions, and response to circumstances. In one of his famous teachings, Epictetus emphasized, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." By embracing this wisdom, we can avoid becoming consumed by negative thoughts and self-doubt from situations we cannot control. Instead, we can focus on our sphere of influence, taking constructive action and maintaining a positive, empowered mindset. To put this principle into practice, I invite you to pause and reflect on a current worry or concern causing you distress. Identify the aspects of the situation within your control and separate them from the factors beyond your influence. By consciously shifting your focus to what you can control, you'll find it easier to let go of negative thoughts and self-doubt surrounding the uncontrollable elements. This simple yet profound practice can cultivate inner peace, resilience, and empowerment in facing life's challenges. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, you can reclaim your power and navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure. Building resilience through Stoic practices. Thus far, we've discussed powerful Stoic principles for reframing negative thoughts, focusing on what's within our control, and cultivating an empowered mindset. However, the Stoics understood that lasting inner transformation requires more than intellectual understanding. It demands consistent practice and the cultivation of specific mental habits. One such practice is the Stoic concept of negative visualization, which may seem counterintuitive at first glance. As Epictetus wisely stated, no great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Negative visualization involves contemplating potential adverse scenarios or misfortunes that could befall us. It may sound like a recipe for pessimism, but the Stoics saw it as a tool to cultivate gratitude, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. By mentally preparing for challenges and setbacks, we become less shocked and overwhelmed when they inevitably occur. Additionally, it helps us cherish the good things rather than take them for granted. Let's engage in a brief exercise to experience the power of this practice. Close your eyes and imagine losing something truly valuable to you, a possession, a relationship, or even your health. Allow yourself to feel the weight of that potential loss. Fully notice how this exercise can heighten your gratitude for what you currently have and instill a sense of humble appreciation for the temporary nature of all things. The Stoics understood that by regularly practicing negative visualization, we could develop a kind of emotional immunity, a resilience that allows us to weather life's storms with poise and grace. Marcus Aurelius, the mighty Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, embodied this principle. Despite facing numerous personal losses and challenges, including the untimely deaths of several children and a devastating plague that ravaged his empire, Marcus Aurelius maintained his composure. He continued to govern with wisdom and compassion. He wrote in his famous Meditations, "How ridiculous and unrealistic is the man who is astonished at anything that happens in life." By embracing the Stoic practice of negative visualization, Marcus Aurelius cultivated a profound sense of resilience and acceptance, allowing him to navigate even the most harrowing circumstances with grace and poise. As we continue our journey toward overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt, practices like negative visualization can serve as powerful tools to fortify our mental and emotional resilience. By regularly reminding ourselves of the impermanence of all things and mentally preparing for potential adversity, we can cultivate a sense of humble gratitude and develop the inner strength to face life's challenges with courage and wisdom. Remember, as Epictetus taught, no great thing is created suddenly. Building resilience is a gradual process that requires consistent practice and dedication, but by embracing Stoic practices we can steadily cultivate the inner resources to overcome negative thoughts, self-doubt, and any obstacles that may arise. Surrounding yourself with positivity, while the Stoic teachings emphasize cultivating inner resilience and self-mastery, the ancient philosophers recognized the profound impact our social environment has on our mental and emotional well-being. As Epictetus wisely advised, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. The people we surround ourselves with can either fuel our negative thought patterns and self-doubt, or inspire us to rise above them. Their words, attitudes, and energy can drag us down or elevate us to new heights of confidence and self-assurance. Think about the individuals in your life who consistently radiate positivity, encouragement, and belief in your potential. Perhaps it's a close friend, a mentor, or a family member who has consistently supported and uplifted you, even during your darkest moments of self-doubt. Now, contrast that with the people in your life who seem to perpetuate your negative thought patterns. They might be quick to criticize, doubt your abilities, or project their insecurities onto you. The Stoics understood that limiting exposure to negative influences and intentionally cultivating uplifting relationships could profoundly impact our mental and emotional state. Consider the example of Monkey D. Luffy from the anime One Piece. Luffy's journey to becoming the Pirate King is significantly influenced by the positive and supportive friends he surrounds himself with. Early in his quest, Luffy gathers a diverse crew of individuals who believe in his dream and support him through every challenge and setback. Characters like Zoro, Nami, Sanji, and Chopper contribute their strengths and unwavering belief in Luffy, encouraging him to persevere despite overwhelming odds. Their support and friendship help Luffy stay resilient and inspire each other to grow and reach their potential. By intentionally curating his crew, Luffy creates an environment that nurtures confidence, resilience, and determination, ultimately propelling him toward his dream of finding the One Piece and becoming the Pirate King. On the other hand, imagine the path of someone who remains entrenched in a toxic social environment, constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, and doubt. It becomes increasingly challenging for them to break free from negative thoughts and self-doubt when those patterns are continuously reinforced by their social influences. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom to our own lives? Here are some practical tips. Evaluate your current social circle. Identify the individuals who uplift and encourage you, as well as those who perpetuate negative thought patterns. Gradually limit exposure to toxic influences while nurturing and prioritizing relationships with positive, supportive people. Seek out communities, groups, or mentors aligned with your values and goals, as they can provide a powerful source of inspiration and motivation. Be mindful of the energy you bring to your relationships. Strive to positively influence others, just as you seek positivity from them. Remember, as Epictetus taught, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. By intentionally surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we create an environment conducive to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt and embracing our full potential. It's a journey that requires conscious effort and discernment, but the rewards are invaluable. A greater sense of confidence, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with the support and encouragement of those who believe in us. Gratitude and contentment. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies a profound understanding of the power of gratitude and contentment. These principles serve as potent antidotes to the negative thought patterns and self-doubt that can quickly consume us in our modern, fast-paced lives. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." These words encapsulate the essence of gratitude, the practice of actively appreciating and savoring the blessings we already possess, rather than constantly yearning for more. By cultivating gratitude, we shift our focus away from perceived deficiencies and scarcity and instead embrace the abundance surrounding us. Imagine the weight lifted from your shoulders if you genuinely appreciate and feel grateful for all the positive aspects of your life, rather than fixating on what you lack or wish you had. The Stoics understood that this shift in perspective could profoundly impact our mental and emotional well-being. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment when he wrote, "It is in no man's power to have whatever he wants, but he has it in his power not to wish for what he hasn't got, and cheerfully make the most of the things that do come his way." These words remind us that true contentment does not come from constantly acquiring more, but from cultivating a sense of sufficiency and appreciating what we already have. By embracing this mindset, we can break free from the endless desire and dissatisfaction that fuels so much of our negative self-talk and self-doubt. To put this into practice, let's engage in a brief gratitude exercise. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, consider 3 aspects of your life that you are truly grateful for. Perhaps your health, a loving relationship, or a cherished memory. Allow yourself to fully savor and appreciate these blessings, feeling the warmth of gratitude spread through your being. As you open your eyes, notice the subtle shift in your perspective. Do you feel lighter, more present, and less burdened by negative thoughts or self-doubt? This is the transformative power of gratitude and contentment. Acceptance and letting go. Epictetus wisely advised, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." These words highlight a profound truth. Much of our suffering and negative thought patterns stem from our resistance to how things are and our attachment to how we believe they should be. By accepting reality as it unfolds, without judgment or resistance, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and freedom from negative thoughts and self-doubt. Consider the example of a student who has worked tirelessly to prepare for a critical exam, only to receive a disappointing result. Suppose they cling to the expectation of a different outcome. In that case, they will likely spiral into a cycle of negative self-talk, doubt, and rumination. However, if they embrace the Stoic principle of acceptance, they can acknowledge the reality of the situation without judgment or self-criticism. They can redirect their energy toward constructive next steps rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed. Toward constructive next steps rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed. This principle was embodied by Marcus Aurelius, who faced numerous challenges and adversities during his reign as Roman emperor. In his famous Meditations, he wrote, "How ridiculous and strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life." These words reflect a deep understanding of the impermanence and unpredictability of life, a recognition that resistance and clinging to expectations only breeds suffering. By accepting the ebb and flow of circumstances with equanimity, Marcus Aurelius navigated even the most tumultuous times with grace and wisdom. The Stoics understood that true freedom lies in letting go of our resistance and accepting what is, rather than constantly battling against reality. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear." Consider a situation you have resisted or struggled to accept. To put this principle into practice, take a few deep breaths and consciously let go of your resistance, embracing the reality of the situation without judgment or self-criticism. Notice how this simple acceptance can alleviate the burden of negative thoughts and self-doubt. By releasing the need to control or change the uncontrollable, you create space for inner peace, clarity, and the ability to respond with wisdom and equanimity. By embracing the Stoic practices of acceptance and letting go, we can cultivate the inner freedom to navigate life's challenges with resilience, grace, and a profound sense of inner peace. Self-reflection and growth. While the Stoic teachings provide potent tools for dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt in the present moment, these ancient philosophers understood that lasting transformation requires a more profound commitment to self-reflection and personal growth. As Epictetus wisely advised, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your failings. He will grow better for being reproved, and you better yourself by this wholesome exercise. These words highlight the profound value of self-reflection, the practice of turning our gaze inward, examining our thoughts, beliefs, and actions with honesty and courage. Through this process, we can identify areas for growth, confront our blind spots, and cultivate the self-awareness necessary for lasting personal development. Imagine for a moment a scenario where you made a mistake or experienced a setback that triggered a wave of negative self-talk and self-doubt. Instead of wallowing in these thoughts or projecting blame onto external factors, the Stoic approach would be to engage in radical self-reflection. Ask yourself probing questions. What role did my own actions or assumptions play in this outcome? What lessons can I learn from this experience? How can I approach similar situations with greater wisdom and resilience in the future? By adopting this mindset of self-reflection and growth, we shift our perspective from self-criticism and stagnation to empowerment and continuous improvement. The Stoics understood that personal growth is not a linear journey, but a cyclical process of self-reflection, learning, and implementation. It requires a willingness to confront our shortcomings and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth rather than sources of self-doubt and negativity. One powerful example of this principle in action is the life story of Epictetus himself. Born into slavery and subjected to numerous hardships, Epictetus could have easily succumbed to bitterness, resentment, and self-pity. However, he chose a path of radical self-reflection and personal growth. Through his unwavering commitment to examining his thoughts, beliefs, and actions, Epictetus developed a profound understanding of the human condition and the path to inner freedom. His teachings have resonated for centuries and serve as a testament to the transformative power of self-reflection and growth. To cultivate this practice in your life, Start by setting aside dedicated time for self-reflection, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply creating space for quiet contemplation. During these moments, ask yourself probing questions about your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, and approach your self-inquiry with curiosity and compassion. When you inevitably encounter moments of failure, setbacks, or negative self-talk, use them as opportunities for growth. Resist the urge to indulge in self-criticism or blame. Instead, turn your attention inward. Explore the lessons to be learned, the blind spots to be illuminated, and the steps to approach similar situations with greater wisdom and resilience. Remember, as Epictetus taught, seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. By committing to the Stoic practice of self-reflection and growth, you unlock the key to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt from the inside out. It is a journey that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront your limitations with humility, but the rewards are immeasurable. A more profound sense of self-awareness, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Stoic quotes about negative thoughts and self-doubt. The ancient Stoic philosophers left us a treasure trove of wisdom for dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt. Let's explore some of their most powerful insights. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. Our thoughts shape our reality. By changing our thoughts, we can change our experience of life. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Our suffering comes not from external events, but from our judgments about them, which we can change. How ridiculous and unrealistic is the man who is astonished at anything that happens in life. Marcus Aurelius. There is no need to be shocked or disturbed by life's inevitable challenges and setbacks. Acceptance is key. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Our persistent thoughts profoundly influence our state of being. Negative thoughts breed negativity. It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. Epictetus. Events themselves are neutral. Our interpretations cause us distress or inner peace. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Epictetus. Happiness comes from focusing our energy on what we can control, not the uncontrollable. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. We cannot always control circumstances, but we can control our responses to them. Men are disturbed, not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Epictetus. Our perspective, not external events, is the true source of our inner turmoil or peace. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Epictetus. Acceptance, not resistance, is the path to tranquility. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. Our pessimistic forecasts often cause more suffering than reality itself. Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear. Marcus Aurelius. We have the innate resilience to withstand whatever life brings our way. Remove the judgment, and you have removed the thought, I am hurt, and the hurt itself is gone. Marcus Aurelius. It is our judgments that create our suffering, not circumstances themselves. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them. Seneca. These words encapsulate the essence of the Stoic approach, the recognition that true freedom and fulfillment arise not from external circumstances or possessions, but from the cultivation of our inner resources, resilience, and alignment with our deepest values. Internalizing these Stoic teachings allows us to rewire our minds, question our negative thought patterns, and cultivate a more resilient, empowered mindset. The path to overcoming self-doubt lies in changing our perspectives and reactions, not controlling the uncontrollable. Remember, The journey toward overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt is not a destination, but a continuous practice, a lifelong commitment to personal growth, self-reflection, and the pursuit of a life well lived. In a world where every smile hides deeper thoughts, and every handshake means more than just a greeting, it's easy to overlook the true nature of a person. Today, we'll dive into the hidden layers of trust and deception, exploring the complexities of human relationships. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control the actions of others, we can control how we respond and understand them, which shapes our connections. Join me as we uncover the hidden forces in everyday interactions and learn the wisdom that can help us live not only successful, but truly meaningful lives. Stick with us, and by the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to approach the world, not just carefully, but with true insight. If you appreciate what we're doing, a quick, free favor I'll ask is for you to hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you don't skip any part of the video to fully grasp the valuable insights and stories we're about to share. Let's dive in. Number 1. The constant critic. This person seems to have made it their mission to find fault in everything around them. Every project you undertake, every idea you propose, every aspect of your personality might never seem good enough for them. Their feedback, often lacking the warmth of constructive criticism, feels more like relentless judgment, chipping away at your confidence and self-esteem with each comment. The constant critic often operates under the guise of just being honest or helping you improve. But there's a fine line between helpful criticism and discouraging nitpicking. Their relentless critiques can create a toxic environment where, instead of growing, you find yourself guarding every action, every word, for fear of criticism. This stifles creativity and initiative, making you doubt your abilities and value. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This powerful Stoic reminder teaches us not to internalize the harsh words or negative perceptions of others. Stoicism invites us to consider the source of criticism and to reflect on whether there is truth and value in it. If there is something to be learned, use it to your advantage. If not, let it roll off you like water off a duck's back. To deal with a constant critic, it's essential to maintain perspective. Understand that their criticism says more about their own worldviews, insecurities, or personal frustrations than it does about your capabilities or worth. Construct boundaries to protect your mental space. You can listen, assess, and then choose whether to accept or discard their words. Engage with them from a place of strength, acknowledging the feedback without allowing it to diminish your sense of self-worth. In Stoic practice, we learn to focus on our own actions and reactions, which are within our control, rather than attempting to control the opinions or behavior of others, which are not. By applying this principle, you can preserve your inner peace and continue your journey of personal growth, even in the face of constant criticism. Number 2. The manipulative friend. This is someone who at first glance seems to understand you better than anyone else. They nod at all the right moments, and their empathetic smiles seem tailor-made just for you. But as time marches on, a disturbing pattern emerges. You begin to notice that their understanding isn't fueled by genuine care, but rather it's a strategic play, using your vulnerabilities for their personal gain. They are like the chess players of social interactions, each move calculated, not to help you, but to advance their position. In your moments of sharing and vulnerability, they're not just listening, they're collecting information. This data isn't stored away to support you. Instead, it's often weaponized, used to push you towards decisions and actions that serve their interests, not yours. Their guise of care is just that, a disguise, and under this mask is not the ally you thought you had, but a strategist who views relationships as tools to be used rather than bonds to be cherished. Correct them. Now, Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity over comfort, truth over pleasant illusions. Marcus Aurelius advised us to be wary of the impressionable nature of our own minds and the intentions of those around us. He would likely counsel us to observe not just what friends say, but what they do, their actions, how they discuss other friends when they're not around, how they handle your secrets, and how they respect your boundaries. These are the true indicators of their character. So, how do you deal with a manipulative friend? Start by setting firm, clear boundaries. Share selectively, understanding that not every internal thought needs external validation, especially from someone whose motivations are questionable. Slowly distance yourself from their influence and invest more in relationships that bring positivity and growth. Real friends enhance your life and inspire you to expand rather than contract. They add layers to your existence through support and genuine care, not subtract from it through manipulation and deceit. Number 3, the inattentive listener. You know the type. They nod in agreement and might even throw in a vague, but you can tell they're not really with you. They're physically present, yes, but mentally they've checked out to some distant place, far from the conversation at hand. It's like talking to a wall that occasionally nods. These interactions can be incredibly frustrating because they lack the fundamental essence of communication, genuine exchange, and understanding. Relationships, be they personal or professional, thrive on mutual understanding and active engagement. When someone consistently fails to pay attention, it sends a clear message. What you're saying isn't important to them. This behavior not only stifles the flow of ideas, but also erodes the emotional connection that true listening can forge. Effective communication is a two-way street, and when it becomes one-sided, the relationship suffers. The Stoic practice of present-mindedness teaches us to fully engage with the task at hand. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, listening attentively is not just a courtesy, it's a duty. It's about respecting the person speaking to you by giving them your full attention, reflecting the Stoic belief in the importance of every human interaction. If you find yourself frequently on the other end of an inattentive listener, there are a few Stoic strategies you might employ. First, ensure your own communication is clear and engaging. Sometimes simply asking direct questions can snap the listener out of their reverie and bring them back to the moment. If that doesn't work, a gentle call-out might be necessary. Let them know you've noticed their distraction and invite them back into the conversation. However, if the pattern persists, it might be worth considering the value this person adds to your life. Are they giving you the respect and attention you deserve? If not, it may be time to redirect your energy towards relationships where mutual engagement and respect are given freely. Number 4. The superficially friendly. At first glance, they seem like the most personable individuals you could meet. With a wide smile, they'll ask about your day and make all the right noises that suggest they care. But, as you soon might discover, their warmth has little depth, resembling more a shallow puddle than a welcoming ocean. These individuals are the social butterflies, gracefully moving from one group to another, never really settling long enough to form deep, meaningful connections. In the world of these superficially friendly people, interactions are often a series of pleasant exchanges that skim the surface of politeness, but never dive into the essence of true friendship. They might be present at every party and appear in all your social circles, but when the chips are down, their presence is often as fleeting as their commitment. True friendship, as we know, isn't just about sharing laughs in the sunlight. It's about standing together in the storm, something these individuals may find too daunting. Stoicism teaches us the importance of genuine relationships and the value of a small circle of close friends over a wide network of acquaintances. Seneca emphasized the quality of friendships rather than quantity. He advocated for relationships where mutual respect and sincerity prevail, guiding us to seek friends who mirror our own values and who provide a stable, reliable presence in our lives. To navigate the realm of the superficially friendly, it's crucial to recognize the signs early. Enjoy their company if you must, in those light-hearted moments that require nothing more than casual interaction. However, invest your emotional energy wisely. Reserve the depths of your trust and the details of your vulnerabilities for those who have proven themselves in times of both joy and adversity. Cultivating discernment in your social interactions isn't just wise, it's necessary to protect your emotional well-being and ensure that your circle remains authentic. Number 5. The constant irritator. This person seems to have mastered the art of irritation. With their knack for poking and prodding, they know exactly how to get under your skin, whether it's through subtle digs, backhanded compliments, or slight provocations. They engage in a sort of emotional chess game. Their goal? To unsettle you, to knock you off balance. For their amusement or advantage, the constant irritator thrives on the reaction they can elicit from you. Each annoyed glance, each sigh of frustration is a win for them, a testament to their ability to manipulate the emotional currents around them. This can be incredibly draining, as it feels like you must constantly guard against their next move, always bracing for the small yet persistent annoyances they create. However, here is where the Stoic teachings can become your stronghold. Stoicism tells us that external events and people's actions don't upset us. Rather, it's our judgments about them that do. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom is particularly applicable when dealing with the constant irritation. By adjusting your perceptions, by deciding that their actions will not dictate your emotional state, you empower yourself. You take control back from the irritator and place it firmly within yourself. Practicing this Stoic detachment involves recognizing the intent behind their irritations. Once you see that their behavior is designed to unbalance you, you can choose not to let it affect you. Imagine their words and actions losing power, fading into the background noise of your life. It's not about ignoring them or pretending the irritation doesn't exist, but rather about changing your response to it. You can acknowledge their attempt to unsettle you without granting them the victory of seeing you perturbed. Engaging with a constant irritator thus becomes less about confronting each irritation and more about maintaining your inner peace. This is the ultimate demonstration of strength. Not that you never feel irritated, but that you can move beyond it, preserving your tranquility amidst the storm they try to stir. Number 6. The empathy-lacking individual. This type of person can be particularly challenging to deal with because they seem almost blind to the emotional landscapes of others. They navigate through life focused solely on their own needs and goals, often at the expense of those around them. Their conversations may center overwhelmingly on their achievements, their problems, and their perspectives, with little regard for anyone else's. In interactions with an empathy-lacking individual, you might find that your feelings and experiences are consistently dismissed or outright ignored. This isn't just about a lack of emotional intelligence. It's a fundamental disconnect in recognizing and valuing the humanity in others. Such individuals often leave a trail of bruised relationships behind them, puzzled as to why their interactions are fraught with conflicts and misunderstandings. Stoicism offers a profound remedy to this mindset. It teaches us the importance of looking beyond ourselves and understanding that the human experience is interconnected. Stoics like Epictetus emphasize the role of empathy in human ethics. He taught that we should listen and respond to others with kindness and understanding, recognizing that we are all part of a larger community, each with our own struggles and triumphs. If you find yourself dealing with someone who lacks empathy, Stoicism advises not to meet their indifference with anger or resentment. Instead, see this as an opportunity to practice patience and to lead by example. Show them empathy, not because they necessarily deserve it, but because it's the virtuous thing to do. However, it's also important to set boundaries. Protecting your emotional well-being is crucial, and sometimes that means limiting your exposure to those who drain it. Engaging with an empathy-lacking individual requires a balance of compassion and self-preservation. While you can attempt to model empathetic behavior, You must also recognize when to step back and not allow their self-centeredness to impact your peace. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius pointed out, what we do now echoes in eternity and compassion, even in the face of apathy. This is not just about changing them, it's about holding true to your values, regardless of how others choose to act. Number 7. The eternal victim. This individual seems to live in a perpetual state of crisis. No matter the day, the season, or the circumstance, something is always going terribly wrong for them. But what's particularly challenging about the eternal victim is not just the frequency of their misfortunes, it's their apparent unwillingness to do anything about them. They seem to thrive on the sympathy and attention their woes attract, using their endless stream of problems as a tool to dry others in and keep them close. And the prevalence of suicide among the victims can be pointed to as a sign to some extent as well. The eternal victim's tales of woe can be emotionally draining. You might find yourself constantly pulled into their dramas, spending energy and time trying to help solve problems that mysteriously never seem to get resolved. Their dependency on your support might feel rewarding at first, as if your presence truly matters. However, it often leads to a one-sided relationship, where your efforts are taken for granted and your own needs and issues are sidelined or ignored. Stoicism offers a powerful framework for dealing with the eternal victim. Stoics like Epictetus taught that we should concern ourselves with things within our control and accept those that are not. When interacting with an eternal victim, it's crucial to recognize the limits of your influence. You can offer support and guidance, but you cannot change their situation. Only they can do that. The Stoics would advise us to practice empathy, but also detachment. Empathize with their pain, but detach from the notion that you are responsible for fixing their life. It's also wise to set boundaries with the eternal victim. If their chaos begins to encroach on your peace, it may be time to reassess how much of your time and emotional energy you can afford to give. Helping them doesn't mean getting swept up in their endless cycle of crises. Instead, encourage them to take action and seek solutions rather than merely consoling them. This approach not only protects your well-being but also pushes them toward the kind of self-reliance and accountability that Stoicism values. Remember, while compassion is a virtue, it must not come at the cost of your own stability and happiness. The Stoics believed in the importance of inner peace and equanimity, and maintaining these in the face of another's perpetual chaos is both a challenge and a practice in Stoic philosophy. In doing so, you honor not only your mental and emotional health, but also foster a more balanced and healthy relationship with the eternal victim. Number 8. The toxic individual. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits, each more damaging than the last. They might exhibit behaviors like manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence in your life can lead to feelings of doubt, insecurity, and even fear, as they seem to have a knack for souring what should be joyful experiences and turning strengths into perceived weaknesses. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits, each more damaging than the last. They might exhibit behaviors like manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence in your life can lead to feelings of doubt, insecurity, and even fear, as they seem to have a knack for souring what should be joyful experiences and turning strengths into perceived weaknesses. Dealing with a toxic individual is challenging because their influence can seep into various aspects of your life, clouding your judgment and affecting your interactions with others. They often create an environment where you're always on the defensive, always having to shield yourself from their next negative outburst or manipulative tactic. This can be exhausting and deeply unsettling, challenging your mental and emotional stability. Epictetus offers wisdom that is particularly applicable when dealing with toxic people. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This guidance encourages us to focus on our responses rather than trying to change the toxic individual. It reminds us that our power lies in our reactions, our decisions, and our ability to maintain self-retrieve in the face of adversity. Social distancing. Implementing this Stoic approach involves setting firm boundaries with the toxic person. Clearly define what is not acceptable in their behavior towards you and be consistent in enforcing these limits. It's crucial to protect your space and peace of mind. If the toxic behavior continues despite your efforts, it may be necessary to distance yourself entirely from the individual. While this can be a difficult decision, especially if the toxic person is a close friend or family member, it's sometimes the healthiest choice you can make. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and encourage your growth. Cultivate relationships that bring positivity, mutual respect, and genuine support. By doing so, you reinforce your resilience against toxicity and foster an environment where you can thrive. Number 9. The two-faced individual. This person masters the art of duplicity, being charming and friendly to your face, but turning to slander the moment your back is turned. Their skill in wearing different masks for different audiences is disconcerting. They can make you feel like a confidant one moment, and the next, you might overhear them undermining you to others. It's a bewildering and hurtful experience to realize that someone you thought was a friend could so easily betray your trust. The two-faced individual not only strains individual relationships, but can also create a toxic environment around them. Their behavior fosters distrust, conflict, and insecurity among a group, whether it be in a workplace, a circle of friends, or within a family. Their actions are often driven by a desire for personal gain, be it power, influence, or mere amusement at causing disruption. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own virtue and integrity, and not to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Seneca advised to choose our company wisely, asserting that being alone is better than being in bad company. Stoicism also prompts us to reflect on our responses to betrayal. It's natural to feel hurt and angry when you discover someone's duplicity, but Stoics would counsel us to rise above these initial emotional reactions. They would urge us to respond with reason and dignity, maintaining our own ethical standards and not stooping to their level of deceit. In dealing with a two-faced individual, the most effective strategy is to distance yourself once their true nature is revealed. Reducing your emotional and personal investment in the relationship protects you from further harm. Moreover, it's important to cultivate relationships with people who value authenticity and transparency. Surround yourself with individuals who support and uplift you, both in your presence and in your absence. Choosing to interact with genuine people aligns with the Stoic principle of living a life of virtue. It not only fosters a healthier emotional environment, but also enables you to grow and thrive, unaffected by the underhanded tactics of those who choose duplicity over integrity. Remember, in dealing with a toxic individual, the goal isn't just to avoid their negative impact. It's to ensure that your life continues to be driven by your values, aspirations, and the pursuit of genuine happiness. You have the strength and the right to choose an environment and relationships that support your well-being and allow you to live your best life. Imagine standing on the edge of your greatest potential, but feeling something holding you back. That's self-doubt, quietly eroding your dreams and confidence. Real confidence isn't just a feeling, it's a skill, a mindset that shapes your path in life. The level of success you achieve is strongly tied to how much you believe in yourself. Think about how often raw talent and potential are held back by fear and uncertainty. So, think happiness without fear and uncertainty. Today, we're going to explore practical, powerful tips designed to help you build your self-confidence. These aren't just ideas. They're real, actionable steps that apply to everyday life. created to guide you toward becoming your best self. Remember, building self-confidence isn't about changing who you are. It's about removing the doubts that hide the strong, capable person you've always been. Before we get started, if you find this helpful, please like the video to help spread the message. Now, let's jump in. Number 1, understand yourself. Discovering who you are isn't just a journey, it's the foundation of regaining lost self-confidence. Take a moment and think about what drives your actions. Are they fueled by genuine beliefs, or are you just mirroring what's expected of you? The essence of Stoicism, as taught by thinkers like Epictetus, lies in this introspection. It's not just about identifying your strengths and weaknesses, but understanding the core of your being. This deep self-awareness is the secret to authentic self-confidence. It's a transformation that begins within, by aligning your actions with your true self. Today, life throws challenges our way, and our immediate reactions often define us. When faced with these moments, pause and reflect. Are your responses a true reflection of your beliefs, or are they knee-jerk reactions to external pressures? Building self-confidence is about more than just being brave. It's about making choices that resonate with who you really are. This authenticity breeds confidence that resonates higher when you act in harmony with your true self. Each decision reinforces your self-belief, nurturing a confidence that's deeply rooted and unwavering. Number 2, focus on what really matters and ignore the rest. Stoicism isn't just an ancient philosophy. It's a beacon for modern souls swimming in a sea of distractions. Think about the last time you truly felt in control. Was it when your mind was jumping from social media alerts to the latest news, or when you were deeply immersed in something that really mattered to you? Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, wisely said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it. Your focus shapes your reality." It's a powerful tool, yet so many of us let it rust in the hustle of everyday life. Regaining focus means identifying what steals it. Maybe it's the constant buzz of your phone, the desire to please everyone, or worries that cloud your thoughts. Recognize these thieves and consciously limit their power over you. Set boundaries, like tech-free hours, or practice the art of saying no to demands that drain your energy. Strengthen your focus like a muscle. Meditation isn't just trendy. It's a time-tested method to anchor your thoughts in the present. Start your day by asking, what's the one thing I need to achieve today? This clarity cuts through the noise, making your actions more intentional and your path more confident. Remember, focusing is more than a skill. It's your gateway to inner peace and self-assurance. By channeling your attention to what's crucial, you're not just ticking off tasks, you're building a fortress of calm in a chaotic world. This is the Stoic way. Understanding that the power to focus isn't just about getting things done, but about crafting a life of purpose and confidence. Number 3, understand that some things can't be changed. Have you ever felt like you're pushing against an immovable wall? It's exhausting and honestly a bit pointless. That's the thing about life. Some aspects simply won't budge, no matter how hard we try. But here's a powerful twist from Stoicism. It's not about how hard you push, but knowing what to push and what to let be. This is the crux of regaining your lost confidence. It's not about surrender, it's about smart strategy. Let's break it down. We all have moments when we feel helpless, like we're trapped in a whirlwind of things we can't control. This is where modern Stoic wisdom kicks in. Ask yourself, am I trying to control the uncontrollable? Here's a reality check. We can't dictate others' actions, reverse time, or foresee the future. But here's your power play. Focus on what you can influence. Your reactions, your decisions, and your actions. These are your true dominions. By shifting your energy here, you become stronger, more adaptable, and most importantly, more self-assured. It's like honing your skills in a game where you know the rules and play your best moves. Consider this. Accepting the unchangeable isn't about passive resignation. It's about strategic focus. When you stop wrestling with the past or future, you're free to excel in the present. Learn to treat yourself with kindness. especially when things don't go your way. Everyone stumbles. That's not just okay, it's essential for growth. This mindset doesn't just make you more confident, it embeds a sense of calm wisdom in your daily life. You're not just growing in confidence, you're evolving into a wiser, more serene version of yourself, living a life that's richer and more meaningful. Remember, true confidence isn't about dominating every aspect of life. It's about mastering your responses and focusing on your strengths. You're not just surviving the storm, you're learning to dance in the rain. Number 4, grow your humility. Embracing humility is like unlocking a secret door to confidence. It's not about dimming your light. Rather, it's about recognizing there are millions of other lights shining around you. We often trip over our own pride, mistaking it for confidence. But here's a truth that has stood the test of time, stretching back to the wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus. True knowledge begins with the admission of ignorance. The humility is your foundation for growth. Imagine humility as soil, rich with potential. Just as a plant doesn't shoot up overnight, neither does genuine confidence. It's a daily practice. Listen more, talk less, and understand that your point of view isn't the only one. When you succeed, remember the contributions of others. There's strength in realizing that everyone has something to teach you. Our world today often values appearances over authenticity, but beneath this veneer, the craving for real connections is palpable. Humility opens doors to these connections. By acknowledging that you're part of a larger whole, you're not downplaying your worth, you're enhancing it. Every person you meet carries a universe of experience different from yours. Learning from them doesn't make you smaller. It makes your world bigger. And in this expanded world, your confidence finds its true north. When you credit others for their successes and see their value, you're not just showing respect, you're weaving a rich tapestry of perspectives. It's not about who's right, it's about being open to the endless learning that life offers. This approach not only deepens your relationships, but also solidifies your confidence on a foundation of mutual respect and continuous learning. The journey of humility is also an inward one. It involves the courage to look at yourself honestly, to acknowledge your mistakes, and to take steps to correct them. This self-awareness is a powerful tool for growth. It's about being grateful for your life, your loved ones, and the opportunities that come your way. Gratitude keeps you grounded and connected, reminding you that you're part of something bigger. As you cultivate humility, you don't just grow in confidence, you become a beacon for others, inspiring respect and admiration. Remember, a wise 21st century Stoic sage knows that humility isn't a sign of weakness, but a badge of strength, a testament to your willingness to learn, to grow, and to connect deeply with the world around you. As we continue exploring this topic, if anything has resonated with you so far, I encourage you to share your thoughts below. A brief comment like, "I believe in myself," is a wonderful way for us to connect. And if you're looking forward to more videos like this, hitting the subscribe button is the way to go. Now, let's further unravel the nuances of our discussion. Number 5, build up your toughness. Toughness isn't a gift at birth. It's a skill honed through life's fires. Stoicism teaches this art beautifully, turning life's harshest lessons into our greatest strengths. Think of toughness as your shield in life's battles, not just to withstand blows, but to emerge victorious, learning and growing with each challenge. As the wise Seneca said, it's not the events but our reaction to them that truly defines us. Part 2 contest completed. Every stumble, every faltering step is a chance to rise stronger. When life throws curveballs, instead of shrinking back, ask yourself, what lesson lies here? This shift in perspective transforms each obstacle into a stepping stone, edging you closer to wisdom and resilience. Resilience is the heart of Stoic toughness. It's about facing challenges with courage, not avoidance or fear. Each time you overcome a hurdle or confront a fear, you're not just surviving, you're evolving into a more confident and capable individual. Remember, resilience isn't just about enduring the storm, It's about learning to dance in the rain, whether it's tackling a long overdue task or navigating through personal loss. Approach each situation with a Stoic mindset. Focus not on the event, but on how you handle it. Face life's trials with confidence, knowing that each one is an opportunity for growth and fortification. True Stoic toughness involves a blend of acceptance, long-term vision, gratitude, and community. Understand that life's path isn't always smooth or fair, but it's traversable with strength and grace. This acceptance isn't surrender, but a recognition that challenges are integral to life and that we're well equipped to handle them. Toughness also means looking beyond today's troubles, considering how current struggles will shape your future resilience, and cultivate gratitude. It's a beacon of hope in tough times, transforming your perspective on challenges into opportunities for growth. And don't underestimate the power of community. Surrounding yourself with supportive people not only uplifts you, but also reinforces the idea that you're not facing life's battles alone. This Stoic journey of building toughness is a lifelong commitment to growth and learning. Every experience, joyous or challenging, is a lesson in understanding yourself and the world around you. Embrace life's fluctuations with the trust that you have the strength and wisdom to thrive, no matter the obstacle. In essence, Stoic toughness is a profound roadmap for navigating life. It teaches us to face difficulties head-on, learn from them, and harness them to build our confidence and resilience. By embracing Stoicism, we don't just overcome challenges, we transform them into catalysts for becoming wiser, stronger, and more self-assured. Number 6. Know and live by your personal beliefs. Have you ever felt like you're drifting, unsure of where you stand in the swirling currents of life? It's a common feeling, but there's a powerful anchor available to you: your personal beliefs. These aren't just idle thoughts. They are the bedrock of genuine, enduring confidence. Think of your most cherished values: honesty, loyalty, bravery, kindness. These aren't just words. They're signposts guiding your journey. Living in harmony with these values isn't a casual affair. It demands daily commitment, a steady hand steering the ship of your life through both calm and stormy seas. Now, let's talk about integrity, a word as strong as steel. Living with integrity means your actions are in perfect sync with your beliefs. Yes, it's challenging, especially when the world tries to sway you from your path. But here's where the transformation occurs. Every time you choose to be true to yourself over the easier path, your self-esteem skyrockets. You're not just saying your beliefs matter, you're proving it through action. This isn't about grand gestures. It's found in the everyday choices. If honesty is your mantra, then let truth be your language, even when lies seem easier. If kindness is your heart's call, extend it in silent, unseen acts. These small steps forge the path to becoming who you aspire to be. Remember, perfection isn't the goal here. It's about recognizing your missteps and growing from them, turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Stay here. Understand that living by your values isn't just a personal victory, it's a beacon for others. When you steadfastly adhere to your principles, you become a living example of authenticity and trustworthiness. This alignment between belief and action doesn't just bring inner peace, it earns the respect and trust of those around you. More than that, it means holding yourself accountable. Own your actions and their consequences, good or bad. Regular self-reflection is key. Take time to ponder your choices, ensuring they align with your core values. This isn't a one-time exercise, but a lifelong journey of growth and self-improvement. In embracing your beliefs and living them out loud, you become more than just confident. You become a guidepost, a source of inspiration, and a testament to the unshakable power of living a life true to oneself. Number 7. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude, often whispered in the winds of Stoicism, is a mighty tool in regaining lost self-confidence. It's not just about the grand gestures of life, but also embracing the everyday joys and victories. Picture this. You wake up, and instead of letting worries cloud your thoughts, you pause. you find 3 simple things to be grateful for. Maybe it's the chirping of birds outside your window, the comfort of your favorite t-shirt, or even the text message from a friend. This isn't just feel-good advice, it's a strategy. By recognizing the good, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's present, cultivating a mindset that sees the glass as half full, not half empty. But gratitude isn't a solo journey. It involves acknowledging the roles others play in your life. Take a moment to appreciate the barista who perfects your morning coffee, or the coworker who always lends an ear. Saying thank you might seem simple, yet it builds bridges and forges connections. It's about seeing the value in the support and kindness around you, creating a network of positivity. And when life throws challenges your way, gratitude teaches you to see them not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Each difficulty becomes a chance to learn, grow, and understand the intricate tapestry of life's experiences. This mindset doesn't just build resilience, it deepens your appreciation for the complex journey of life. As you weave gratitude into your daily life, remember it's a skill honed through practice and patience. It's about finding beauty in the mundane and learning from the struggles. With each day of gratitude, you're not only rebuilding your self-confidence, you're sculpting a life filled with appreciation and understanding. This journey of gratitude is like nurturing a garden. It requires attention, care, and time, but the blooms that follow are vibrant with self-assurance, resilience, and a deep-seated understanding of life's value. So start today. Find your 3 gratitudes and watch as your world transforms, one thank you at a time. Number 8. Embrace learning and curiosity. Do you ever feel lost in the maze of self-doubt? It's a common trap, one that saps your self-confidence. But there's a light in that maze, a beacon to guide you out, learning and curiosity. This isn't about cramming facts from textbooks. It's about a hunger to know more, about the vast, diverse world, and crucially, about yourself. Remember Epictetus, the Stoic sage. He said, "Only the educated are free." He wasn't just talking about formal education. He meant the liberation that comes from daily learning, be it a quirky fact, a new skill, or seeing the world through someone else's eyes. This journey of continuous learning does more than just fill your head with knowledge. It keeps your mind sharp, engaged, and adaptable. Think of it as mental gymnastics, where each new piece of knowledge is a new move, making you more flexible and prepared for life's unexpected flips and turns. And it's not just about you. By understanding different viewpoints, you're not just expanding your mind, you're growing your heart. Talking to people with lives and beliefs different from your own doesn't just teach you new things. It builds empathy, respect, and a genuine appreciation for the colorful tapestry of human experience. In a world that never stops moving, where every moment is filled with noise, demands, and relentless pressure, finding true peace might seem like a distant dream. But what if I told you that tranquility isn't found in escaping your life, but in changing how you live it? This isn't about retreat. It's about transformation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy designed for modern chaos, teaches us not just to survive, but to thrive amidst life's storms by mastering the art of control. Control not over others, but over ourselves. Welcome to Stoic Journal, where ancient wisdom meets modern challenges. If you're ready to embrace Stoic strategies that will empower you to sail through life's turbulent waters with grace and resilience, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the core of Stoicism, exploring how this timeless wisdom can be more than just a philosophy. It can be a practical toolkit for living a richer, more resilient life. So, if you're looking to turn challenges into opportunities and cultivate a steadfast serenity that lasts, stay tuned. Together, we'll unlock the secrets of Stoicism and discover how to harness its power every single day. Join me in embracing a life where every obstacle becomes a stepping stone to personal growth and fulfillment. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support this journey into Stoicism, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And don't skip any part of the video. We've packed it with insights that unfold step by step, each one building on the last to transform your understanding and your life. When we dive into the teachings of Stoicism, one of the most powerful and life-changing principles we encounter is the concept of control. It's fascinating how this ancient philosophy, developed over 2 millennia ago, provides us with a tool so essential for our modern hectic lives. Stoicism teaches us a simple yet profound truth. Our true power lies not in extending our reach over the external world, but in mastering our own inner responses. This concept isn't about gaining control over others or the circumstances we find ourselves in. Rather, it's about understanding what is truly within our grasp, our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves feeling frustrated or upset over things we simply cannot change? Maybe it's the weather ruining our weekend plans or a friend running late to a meetup. Our natural inclination might be to let these external events disturb our peace. However, Stoicism invites us to shift our focus. Instead of ruminating on the uncontrollable, Stoicism encourages us to ask, what can I control in this situation? The answer is almost always related to our internal state, our mindset, our readiness to adapt, and our decision on how to respond. This principle of focusing on what we can control helps us build resilience against the chaos of everyday life. By anchoring our energy on our internal state, we create a kind of mental fortress that external circumstances cannot breach. For instance, when facing a traffic jam that makes us late for an important appointment, instead of stewing in anger and frustration, Stoicism teaches us to use that time to reflect, plan our day, or simply enjoy some music. This change in perspective doesn't alter the traffic, but it dramatically transforms our experience of it. Moreover, understanding control is about accepting the limits of our influence. This acceptance does not mean resignation, but rather a strategic redirection of our efforts toward areas where we can make a real impact. It's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. While you can't control the storm, you have the authority over how you steer the ship and manage the crew. This metaphor encapsulates the Stoic approach, managing our ship, ourselves, with wisdom and integrity, regardless of the storm and challenges around us. Practicing this Stoic principle also means preparing ourselves for various outcomes. It teaches us to remain composed, not only when things go our way, but also when they don't. This level of detachment from outcomes is incredibly freeing. It allows us to engage in our activities with full effort and commitment, but without the heavy burden of needing certain outcomes for our happiness. This is what Stoics mean when they talk about selective indifference, caring deeply about our actions and efforts while being indifferent to the fluctuations of fortune. The Stoic understanding of control is a powerful antidote to stress and anxiety. It grounds us in the present and focuses us on the actionable, empowering us to live with intention and tranquility. By internalizing this lesson, we don't just cope with life's unpredictabilities, we thrive amidst them. We become proactive participants in our lives, choosing responses that align with our deepest values, rather than being reactive to every external stimulus. Embracing the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control doesn't happen overnight. It requires mindfulness, self-reflection, and regular practice. But the rewards, increased serenity, effectiveness, and a profound sense of empowerment, are well worth the effort. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's keep this foundational principle in mind. It's not just about reading and understanding Stoic philosophy, it's about living it, one controlled, thoughtful response at a time. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is not just a moral compass, but the very core of a fulfilling life. It's interesting how Stoicism aligns the pursuit of virtue with the pursuit of happiness, a concept that might seem counterintuitive in today's fast-paced world, where happiness is often equated with pleasure or success. But Stoics view it differently. For them, happiness isn't found in external achievements or material possessions, but in living a life of virtue. So, what exactly does virtue mean in Stoicism? It encompasses 4 main qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues plays a crucial role in how we navigate our lives. Wisdom involves the insightful understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Courage is about facing life's challenges with resilience and bravery. Justice relates to treating others with fairness and kindness. Temperance is the art of self-control and moderation. Together, these virtues form the Stoic ideal of a well-lived life. The Stoic pursuit of happiness through virtue is fundamentally different from the fleeting pleasures we often chase. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness is a state of inner peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you've lived well according to your own principles. This kind of happiness is stable and enduring. It doesn't evaporate when external conditions change, because it's based not on what happens to us, but on how we choose to respond. This approach to happiness is incredibly empowering. It suggests that regardless of our external circumstances, we have the capacity to cultivate happiness within ourselves by developing virtuous qualities. Think about the implications of that. It means that our emotional and psychological well-being doesn't have to be at the mercy of our surroundings or situations, which are often beyond our control. Instead, happiness becomes something we actively build through our choices and actions. Practicing Stoic virtue also means striving to be better each day. It's about personal growth and self-improvement. For instance, when we practice temperance, we learn to resist impulses that might lead to excess or harm. When we practice justice, we contribute positively to our communities, promoting a sense of goodwill and support. Each act of virtue not only enhances our own lives, but also touches the lives of others around us, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Moreover, the Stoic link between virtue and happiness teaches us about the importance of aligning our actions with our values. In a world where we are often pulled in different directions by conflicting desires and pressures, Stoicism offers a clear directive: focus on living virtuously. This simplifies decision-making and reduces the stress and anxiety associated with trying to please everyone or achieve perfection. It guides us to focus on being good, rather than merely feeling good or looking good. Embracing Stoic virtues isn't about suppressing emotions or denying pleasure. It's about finding a deeper, more meaningful kind of happiness that sustains us through life's ups and downs. It challenges us to look beyond immediate gratification and consider the long-term effects of our actions on our character and well-being. In practice, living a life of Stoic virtue can be challenging. It requires constant vigilance and effort. It asks us to be mindful of our actions and choices, to reflect regularly on our behavior, and to strive continually towards embodying the Stoic ideals. But the payoff is immense. As we align more closely with these virtues, we find that our lives are richer, our relationships are stronger, and our souls are calmer. So, as we journey through the teachings of Stoicism, let's keep in mind that virtue is the key to genuine, lasting happiness. It's not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one, filled with growth, resilience, and a deep sense of fulfillment. In the pursuit of Stoic happiness, every step we take in virtue is a step towards a more peaceful and meaningful life. One of the most compelling aspects of Stoicism is how it teaches us to reframe our perceptions to change our reality. This concept might sound a bit like modern psychology, and you'd be right to think there are parallels. Stoicism, however, takes this idea back thousands of years and integrates it into a broader philosophy that addresses how we can lead fulfilling lives by focusing on what we truly control. So, how does Stoicism help us reframe our perception? It starts with the premise that it's not the events themselves that upset us, but rather our opinions about them. For example, if you get caught in a rainstorm and feel miserable, it's not necessarily the rain that's causing your misery, it's your perception of the situation. Perhaps you see the rain as an annoyance rather than a natural occurrence that brings much-needed water to the earth. This shift in thinking, from seeing the rain as a personal inconvenience to viewing it as a beneficial ecological event, changes your emotional response to it. This Stoic principle of reframing perception is incredibly powerful because it puts us back in the driver's seat of our own emotions. Instead of being tossed around by external events, we get to choose our responses. This is done through what Stoics call the dichotomy of control, which is simply distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. We can't control the weather, the traffic, or other people's actions, but we can control our reactions to these things. Let's dive a bit deeper into how this works in practice. Imagine you're working on a project at work, and suddenly there's a change in project direction due to external factors beyond your control. You might initially feel frustrated or anxious about the changes and additional work. However, by applying Stoic thinking, you can reframe this situation. Instead of viewing it as a setback, see it as an opportunity to learn new skills or to demonstrate your flexibility and creativity. This doesn't just change how you feel about the situation, it changes the situation itself in terms of your experience of it. Moreover, this reframing of perception, according to Stoic principles, goes beyond mere positive thinking. It's about seeing the truth of a situation more clearly. It involves understanding the nature of the world as one of change and unpredictability, and then aligning our expectations and actions accordingly. This alignment reduces our disappointments and enhances our resilience, as we are no longer fighting against the inevitable flow of life, but moving with it. The practice of reframing perception also encourages us to focus on the present moment, instead of getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on the here and now, on what we are doing at this moment, and how we can do it with virtue. This focus is liberating because it narrows down the vast array of things that might concern us to the few things we can actually influence. Reframing perception and reality in Stoicism isn't just a coping mechanism, it's a transformative process that leads to true inner peace. By consistently applying this Stoic practice, we begin to see that many of the walls we face are ones we have built ourselves with our misconceptions and misplaced beliefs. Breaking down these walls doesn't just change our view of the world, it changes the world we live in. The Stoic practice of reframing our perceptions is about understanding the true nature of events, recognizing our power to choose our responses, and focusing our efforts on what we can actually influence. This approach doesn't just help us handle life's challenges more effectively, it empowers us to lead lives marked by calm, clarity, and purpose. As we continue to explore and apply these Stoic teachings, we find that the quality of our lives is not determined by external circumstances, but by the perceptions and choices we make. In Stoicism, one of the most profound and perhaps most challenging concepts is amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This isn't just about accepting whatever life throws at us. It's about embracing it with open arms, not just as an unavoidable reality, but as something beneficial and necessary for our growth. It's a powerful idea that turns potential adversity into a source of strength. How do we begin to not just accept but love our fate? It starts with understanding that everything that happens can be seen as an opportunity. Stoicism teaches us that our character is formed not through our experiences, but through our responses to those experiences. When we love our fate, we are essentially saying that we trust in the natural flow of life and believe there is value in whatever happens. This doesn't mean we desire or wish for suffering or hardship, but rather that we find peace and purpose in the inevitability of such experiences. The beauty of amor fati lies in its radical optimism. Instead of fighting against the currents of life, we learn to swim with them. This perspective doesn't come easily, of course. It requires a deep philosophical shift, a sort of mental rewiring that allows us to see the silver linings in dark clouds, without being naive or dismissive of the hardships. For example, if you lose a job, it's natural to feel upset and anxious. However, embracing amor fati would involve a shift in perspective, where you might see this event as an opportunity to pursue a path more aligned with your true passions, or to develop resilience and adaptability. Embracing amor fati also means letting go of bitterness and regret. Stoicism doesn't ask us to forget the past or ignore the pain. Instead, it encourages us to acknowledge our feelings, but not to allow them to control us. By loving our fate, we accept the past for what it is, a part of our journey that has led us to where we are now, contributing to who we have become. This acceptance frees us from the weight of past grievances, allowing us to move forward with a lighter spirit and a clearer mind. Moreover, amor fati is about finding joy in the journey itself, not just a destination. It's easy to think we'll be happy when we reach a certain milestone, when we get that job, when we buy that house, when we retire. But Stoicism teaches us that there's a profound joy available to us right here and now, in this very moment, if only we choose to see and embrace it. This doesn't mean we stop striving or becoming. It means we cherish the process as much as, if not more than, the outcomes. In practical terms, living with amor fati can start with small steps. It might mean taking a moment each day to reflect on something that didn't go as planned and finding something valuable in that experience. Perhaps it taught you a lesson, or maybe it strengthened a relationship through shared struggle. It could also involve more significant life changes, such as choosing a career path that feels true to your core values, even if it's less conventional or secure. Trusting that the challenges along the way will enrich your life's narrative. Amor fati enriches our lives by deepening our connection to the world and to ourselves. It helps us cultivate an inner resilience that acts as an anchor in the stormy seas of life. This love of fate doesn't make life easier, but it does make us stronger and more harmoniously aligned with the natural course of events. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's try to see amor fati not just as a philosophical concept, but as a daily practice, a way to embrace each moment, each challenge, and each joy that life offers. By doing so, we transform our relationship with life itself, turning every experience into a pathway to greater wisdom and peace. Embarking on the journey to Stoicism is like starting a profound adventure, one that invites us to explore deep insights into our lives and fundamentally change how we interact with the world around us. It's not merely about learning a set of theories. It's about transforming those theories into everyday practices that strengthen our resilience, enhance our happiness, and deepen our understanding of life. The journey begins with a simple yet profound shift in perspective, recognizing that while we can't control external events, we can control our responses to them. This realization is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's a liberating concept that frees us from feeling victimized by circumstances or other people's actions. Instead, it empowers us to take charge of our inner world. As we delve deeper into Stoicism, we learn to cultivate 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues is not just an abstract ideal, but a practical guide to living well. Wisdom teaches us to see things as they really are. Courage gives us the strength to face challenges head-on. Justice guides us to treat others fairly, and temperance helps us find balance in all things. Embracing these virtues in daily life can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Another key aspect of the Stoic journey is developing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. This practice helps us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and reactions. By observing ourselves without judgment, we can start to identify patterns that might lead us away from our Stoic ideals. For instance, we might notice that we tend to react impulsively when we're stressed, or that we hold on to grudges longer than is healthy. Awareness is the first step toward change. Practical exercises are also integral to this journey. One such exercise is the evening reflection, where we review our day and assess how well we lived up to our Stoic principles. Did we handle a stressful situation with composure? Did we treat everyone we encountered with fairness and kindness? These reflections not only help us learn from our experiences, but also reinforce our commitment to living a Stoic life. The journey to Stoicism also involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. This perspective shift is essential because it turns every obstacle into a teacher. When we face difficulties, instead of feeling defeated, we can ask ourselves, what can this situation teach me? This approach not only makes us more resilient, but also more open to learning and personal development. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to build a community or seek out like-minded individuals who are also on this path. Having a support system can be incredibly beneficial, as it provides us with encouragement, different perspectives, and companionship on our journey. Sharing experiences and challenges with others who understand and appreciate Stoic principles can enhance our own understanding and application of Stoicism. Finally, the journey to Stoicism is a lifelong pursuit. It's not about reaching a state of perfection, but about striving toward continuous improvement. It's about becoming more virtuous, more resilient, and more aligned with our true selves each day. As we progress, we'll find that the rewards of this philosophical path are not just about personal tranquility and resilience. They extend to improving our relationships with others and positively impacting the world around us. The journey to Stoicism is about growth and transformation. It challenges us to look inward, reassess our values, and align our actions with those values. It teaches us to be strong in the face of adversity and compassionate in our dealings with others. It's a path that not only enhances our own lives, but also has the potential to enrich the lives of everyone around us. Let's embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, ready to learn and grow in ways we might never have imagined. Integrating Stoicism into daily life is about much more than adopting a philosophical outlook. It's about transforming abstract Stoic principles into concrete actions and habits that enhance our everyday experiences. Practical Stoicism isn't just for times of crisis or philosophical reflection. It's for the ordinary moments, the everyday decisions, and the small challenges that shape our lives. The first step in practicing Stoicism daily is starting each day with intentionality. This means setting a few minutes aside each morning to contemplate the day ahead and remind ourselves of the Stoic virtues we aim to embody: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about asking ourselves how we can apply these virtues in the day's activities. For example, how will I exhibit temperance in my eating habits or spending? How can I practice courage in my workplace or personal challenges? This morning ritual sets a purposeful tone for the day, aligning our actions with our Stoic ideals. Throughout the day, practical Stoicism involves being mindful of our reactions to events and people. It's about observing our automatic responses and asking whether they align with Stoic principles. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, we pause and consider a more measured Stoic response. This might mean taking a deep breath and recalling the Stoic view that we can control our reactions, even if we can't control external events. This habit of pausing and choosing our response can transform our interactions and significantly reduce stress and conflict in our lives. Another key aspect of practical Stoicism is dealing with negative emotions effectively. Stoicism teaches us that negative emotions are often the result of mistaken judgments or excessive attachments to things beyond our control. When we feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, it's helpful to step back and analyze their source. Are we upset because of something outside our control? Are we placing too much importance on external validation or material success? By questioning the roots of our emotions and aligning our expectations with Stoic principles, we can regain our composure and perspective. Practical Stoicism also extends to how we handle interpersonal relationships. Stoics emphasize the importance of justice and kindness in dealing with others. This means practicing empathy, being fair in our judgments, and considering the common good in our decisions. It's about treating others with respect and understanding, even when we disagree or when others do not treat us as we'd hope. By embodying these virtues in our relationships, we not only live more stoically but also contribute to a more harmonious and supportive community. In our pursuit of personal growth, practical Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our day each evening. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but about honest self-assessment. What did I do well today? Where could I have been more stoic? This practice of evening reflection helps solidify the day's lessons and prepares us to be even more virtuous and resilient tomorrow. It reinforces the Stoic commitment to continual improvement and helps us track our progress in living a Stoic life. Finally, practical Stoicism involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. This means viewing obstacles not as impediments but as chances to practice and strengthen our Stoic virtues. Whether it's a difficult project at work, a personal setback, or an unexpected change in plans, each challenge is a chance to apply Stoic wisdom and resilience. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, Stoicism becomes not just a philosophy we read about, but a vibrant, living guide. It influences how we think, how we react, how we relate to others, and how we understand the world. Through practical Stoicism, we don't just survive the vicissitudes of life, we thrive amidst them, finding deeper satisfaction and peace in our journey through life. As we close today's journey into the heart of Stoicism, remember that embracing this philosophy is about more than just understanding. It's about living. Each moment, each decision, and each challenge offers a new opportunity to practice resilience, wisdom, and virtue. By integrating Stoicism into our daily lives, we don't just change ourselves, we change our entire world, one thoughtful action at a time. It's a harsh reality, but some people in our lives take pleasure in causing harm and chaos. Think about it. You could be sharing moments, trusting someone, only to discover they are the very source of your turmoil. Today, we dive deep into a topic that's as fascinating as it is frightening, recognizing the signs you're dealing with an evil person. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, these individuals can be masters of deception, hiding their true nature behind charm and charisma. Today, we're not just exploring this dark side of human behavior out of curiosity. Understanding these signs can be life-changing. The Stoics believed in the power of perception and the importance of living a life guided by reason and virtue. By identifying and understanding these toxic traits, we can protect our peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships, staying true to the principles of wisdom and self-control. Stay with us as we uncover 5 telltale signs of an evil person. By the end of this video, you'll not only be better equipped to spot these behaviors, but also learn practical ways to safeguard your mental health and well-being. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Please don't skip any part of the video. You won't want to miss our special bonus section, where I'll share an effective strategy for setting firm boundaries with these individuals. Let's embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience together. Number 1, charming and charismatic at first. When we talk about people who seem charming and charismatic at first, it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. These individuals often have a way of lighting up a room, making everyone around them feel special and valued. They know exactly what to say to make you feel like you've just made a new best friend. At first glance, they seem like the perfect person, witty, engaging, and seemingly interested in your life. It's easy to get swept up in their charm, thinking you've found someone truly special. However, the Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation. Over time, you might start to notice little cracks in their facade. Maybe they always need to be the center of attention, overshadowing others in social settings. They might talk over you, interrupt you, or even subtly put you down in front of others. These aren't just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality. They're red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Imagine being at a party where this person is the life of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. At first, it feels great to be in their orbit, but as the evening progresses, you realize they're dominating every conversation, making everything about themselves. When you try to share something about your life, they quickly redirect the topic back to them. This is where the principle of apatheia, a state of being undisturbed by external things, comes in handy. By staying emotionally balanced, you can see through their charming act and recognize the self-centered nature underneath. It's also crucial to pay attention to how they react when things don't go their way. A person who is genuinely kind and caring will handle disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding. But someone who is merely playing a role to gain your trust might quickly become angry or defensive. They might lash out or try to manipulate the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear indicators of a lack of virtuous character. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be wary of those who display signs of anger and manipulation, as these are not the traits of a rational and virtuous person. The key here is to take your time and trust your instinct. The Stoics believed in the power of observation and the importance of not rushing to judgment based on first impressions. Epictetus taught that we should carefully evaluate the character of those we allow into our inner circle. So, if someone seems too good to be true, give yourself the space to observe their actions over time. Notice how they treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. True character is revealed in how a person behaves when they aren't trying to impress anyone. Remember, not everyone who seems charming and charismatic has good intentions. Some people use their charm as a tool for manipulation. By staying grounded and mindful, you can protect yourself from being taken in by a superficial facade. Stay true to the principles of wisdom and discernment, and you'll be better equipped to navigate these complex social interactions. Another crucial sign to watch out for: a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's what allows us to connect deeply with those around us, to offer support when it's needed, and to create meaningful relationships. However, there are individuals out there who seem to completely lack this essential human trait. They don't care about how their actions or words affect others, and this can have a devastating impact on those around them. The Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider the well-being of others as part of our own well-being. So, when we encounter someone who shows a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine you're sharing something deeply personal with a friend, hoping for some comfort or understanding. Instead of showing any genuine concern, they brush off your feelings or even mock your vulnerability. This lack of empathy can make you feel isolated and misunderstood. It's not just about them not being there for you in tough times. It's also about them failing to share in your joy or celebrate your successes. A person who lacks empathy won't cheer for your achievements. They might even undermine them or take credit themselves. This behavior is not just limited to personal relationships. Consider a boss who pushes their employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand long hours without fair compensation, ignore requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees in a way that's meant to humiliate rather than constructively guide. This creates a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their character, not ours. Furthermore, a lack of empathy can lead to more sinister behaviors. People who cannot empathize with others may engage in actions that are outright cruel or without any sense of guilt or remorse. They might lie, cheat, or even inflict physical harm without a second thought about the pain they're causing. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they're fundamentally disconnected from these values. Lack of empathy is also evident in smaller, everyday interactions. For example, you might notice that someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in what others have to say, or fails to offer help when it's clearly needed. These might seem like minor annoyances at first, but they add up to a pattern of behavior that reveals a deeper issue. The Stoics would remind us to be observant and discerning, understanding that these small signs are indicative of a person's true character. If you find yourself dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it's important to set boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed in the importance of maintaining our own well-being and not allowing the negativity of others to disturb our peace. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and bring you down. Another major sign of an evil person is manipulation. Manipulation occurs when someone uses deceit or cunning tactics to control or influence others to get what they want. It's a subtle, often insidious behavior that can be incredibly damaging to those on the receiving end. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations, making you question your reality and bending your will to suit their needs. This can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and unsure of your own judgments. Let's think about manipulation from a Stoic perspective. The Stoics valued clarity of thought and the ability to see things as they truly are. They taught that our perceptions should be grounded in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles, no matter the external pressures. When someone manipulates you, they are attempting to cloud your perception and distort reality, making it difficult for you to stay true to these Stoic ideals. The common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny that certain events happened, or they might twist your words and actions to make you feel at fault. For example, let's say you confront a friend about something hurtful they said. Instead of acknowledging it, they might turn the tables, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation. This can erode your confidence and make you reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim. They might guilt-trip you into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them, yet they are never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel obligated to comply. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control others' actions or emotions, only our response to them. Consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. At first, this can feel great. They might shower you with compliments and make you feel special. But over time, you might notice that their praise comes with strings attached. They might compliment you when they want something from you, or when they need you to do something for them. This can make you feel like you owe them, or that you need to live up to their expectations to maintain their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true virtue and self-worth come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulation can also take the form of isolation. A manipulative person might try to cut you off from your friends and family, making you more dependent on them. They might say things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand you like I do." This tactic makes it easier for them to control you because you become more reliant on them for support and validation. The Stoics believed in maintaining strong, supportive relationships with others, recognizing that we are social beings who thrive in community. Isolation goes against these principles, as it weakens our support network and makes us more vulnerable to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic used by evil people. They might borrow money, never repay it, or they might control your finances to limit your independence. For instance, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, making you ask for permission to spend anything. This control over finances can make it difficult for you to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring that we are not unduly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing manipulation for what it is can be challenging, especially when you care about the person involved. The Stoics teach us to be vigilant and discerning, to see things clearly, and to act with integrity. If you suspect someone is manipulating you, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Are they consistently prioritizing their needs over yours? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to control aspects of your life or isolate you from others? It's important to set firm boundaries with manipulators and stand your ground. Communicate clearly and assertively about what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. By maintaining our inner strength and clarity, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of manipulation and stay true to our values. One of the most glaring signs of an evil person: controlling behavior. This goes beyond mere preferences or quirks. It's about someone who seeks to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your own autonomy and decisions. Controlling individuals often disguise their behavior as concern or care, but underneath, it's about power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Controlling behavior can manifest in many ways. For instance, you might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. While it might seem harmless at first, over time you start to realize that your preferences and opinions are consistently ignored or overridden. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." This isn't about mutual decision-making. It's about one person exerting their will over another. In relationships, controlling behavior can become even more dangerous. A partner might monitor your whereabouts, demand constant updates on your activities, and even dictate who you can and cannot see. They might go through your phone, check your messages, or insist on knowing all your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel trapped and anxious, constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of maintaining your own inner freedom and autonomy, regardless of external pressures. Control can also come in the form of financial manipulation. A controlling partner or family member might take charge of all financial decisions, doling out money as they see fit, and keeping you financially dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're not good with finances." Or, "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can strip you of your financial independence and make it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your own choices. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and managing your own resources wisely, viewing financial control as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way controlling behavior shows up is through isolation. A controlling person might try to cut you off from friends and family, claiming that they're the only one who truly understands or cares about you. They might criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. The Stoics recognize the importance of community and supportive relationships, seeing isolation as detrimental to both personal growth and well-being. Controlling individuals also often use threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you don't comply with their demands. This creates an environment of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. The Stoics, especially Seneca, taught that we should face our fears and not allow others to intimidate us into submission. And true courage and wisdom lie in standing firm against such threats and reclaiming our own power. It's important to understand that controlling behavior is about more than just wanting things done a certain way. It's about fundamentally undermining your ability to make your own choices and live your own life. The Stoics would advise us to recognize these behaviors for what they are: an attack on our autonomy and a violation of our personal freedom. By staying true to our values and maintaining our inner strength, we can resist the influence of controlling individuals and reclaim our right to live freely. If you find yourself dealing with someone who exhibits controlling behavior, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and assert your independence. Communicate clearly about your needs and limits, and don't be afraid to seek support from others who understand your situation. Remember, the Stoics teach us that we cannot control others, but we can control our own reactions and decisions. By staying grounded in our principles and valuing our own autonomy, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of controlling behavior and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. Another unmistakable sign of an evil person is pathological lying. This goes beyond the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars deceive constantly, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. They believed that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might start with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, falsely take credit for others' work, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality where you can never be sure what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in a workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and people are constantly on edge, unsure of who to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your own perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our own judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it's often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars can be incredibly convincing, telling their lies with such confidence and detail that it's hard not to believe them. They might mix truth with lies, making it even more challenging to discern what's real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes into play. We must remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, pay attention to how they react. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to turn the tables and blame you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that seems to make sense, even if it's just another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit to their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, weaving an even more intricate web of lies. The Stoics would counsel us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's also important to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the very foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth trying to rebuild that trust, or whether it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your own mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would advise us to remain true to our own values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation that is built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. Now, how can you protect yourself from these harmful behaviors while maintaining your peace and integrity? Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial skills you can develop when dealing with difficult or toxic people. Boundaries are about defining what you will and will not accept in your relationships, and they are essential for protecting your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics, who emphasized the importance of personal integrity and inner peace, would see boundary setting as a fundamental practice for maintaining a virtuous and tranquil life. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about respecting yourself and ensuring that others respect you as well. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-respect and living in harmony with our true nature. By setting clear boundaries, you are not only protecting yourself, but also fostering healthier interactions with others. When it comes to setting boundaries, clarity is key. You need to be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and assertively. For example, if you have a friend who frequently belittles you or puts you down, you might say, "I appreciate our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful manner. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misinterpretation. According to Stoic principles, this kind of clear communication helps maintain order and respect in relationships. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It's not enough to state your boundaries once and expect others to adhere to them without reminders. You must consistently enforce your boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasized the importance of discipline and perseverance. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to set boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could say to a colleague or supervisor, "I am happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise us to balance our duties and not overextend ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. One of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries is dealing with the pushback or resistance you might encounter. People who are used to getting their way, especially those with controlling or manipulative tendencies, may not take kindly to your newfound assertiveness. They might react with anger, guilt-tripping, or even attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and steadfast in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by the negative emotions of others. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries might mean making difficult decisions, such as distancing yourself from certain individuals or even ending relationships that are toxic or harmful. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our primary responsibility is to our own virtue and well-being. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our associations wisely, recognizing that the company we keep can significantly impact our character and happiness. By distancing yourself from those who consistently violate your boundaries, you are making a powerful statement about your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. It's also helpful to seek support from others when setting boundaries. This could mean talking to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your experiences and getting their input and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and successes with boundary setting can provide you with valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics valued community and the support of like-minded individuals. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of mutual support. By leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to uphold your boundaries and maintain your well-being. In addition, practicing self-care is crucial when setting and maintaining boundaries. This includes taking time for yourself, engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, and nurturing your physical and mental health. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-care as a foundation for a virtuous life. Epictetus, for example, emphasized the need to care for our own well-being so that we can be of service to others and fulfill our responsibilities effectively. By prioritizing self-care, you reinforce the message that your well-being is important and deserving of protection.